Hey, you are live with Rashida and
Adalia.
hi. Okay, so if you don't know me, if you're like, what is going on? What is happening today? My name is Rashida Dow, also known as Sheeta D online. I am a career break coach who lives in Mexico City, and I love to talk about Mexico City, which is why I have my Mexico City bestie here with me today, and she is Adalia from Picky Girl Travel. So, Adalia, tell us a short version of your Mexico City experience.
Oh, this is my second time living in Mexico City. I originally lived here in 2017, and I have been back since July of 2020, and it is my absolute most favorite place in the world.
All right, I want to say hi to all the folks in the comments. Hey, my mom is here.
Hey, good morning. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. And my business bestie, Stephanie's here. And y'all are in the comments just chatting, Wendy, Global Paper, Right Equity, Halisi, Joan, Vanessa, Miss Vice, Alicia, Colette, Francis, everybody. If I miss it, Anita, Yolanda. Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
And if you're watching this on the replay, hi, say hi in the comments. We love it when you do that. I know you're there. I know you watched. If you have any questions, the live is truly the best place to get your question answered. Comments afterwards are kind of harder, especially if I have a guest. Like sometimes, just to be real with y'all, sometimes I'll have a guest and people will ask a comment that's specifically for the guest. But most times, I don't think people are going back to videos they watched to answer comments. So people ask comments about stuff, and I'm like, well, I see the comments, and I can't answer this because I've never been to Panama, and you're asking me about Panama. And the guest on my channel is unlikely to come back and watch the comments. So if you're watching if you're on the replay, say hi, say all the great stuff. If you have specific questions for Adalia about Mexico City, they're unlikely to get answered unless you go to her channel, which is
Picky Girl Travels the World.
Picky Girl Travels the World at YouTube. She's got a great channel, talks a lot about Mexico City, talks about travel, talks about solo travel. She has a solo travel Facebook group, which she doesn't talk about enough.
That is true. I do not talk about it enough, and I should.
All right.
And I don't. I do. My Facebook group is called Picky Girls Travel Solo. It is a safe space for Black women to just share their solo travels, plan solo travels, ask questions, research, all of that.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yes, she's also a financial coach. She helps you get your FU money together so that you can go explore the world on your terms. I think she says it better than I do, but that's it. So there are links in the description to the things she does. If you're like, I would love to spend 6 years living wherever I want, but money is looking a little funny, hit her up at the links in the description and, make some progress, because nothing changes until you start changing shit, right? Like that money gonna keep being funny.
Do you see the comments about how cute you look in your fascinator?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm way up in the comments, so I didn't. Okay, so the ladies went to a tea party yesterday, and we were asked to wear, if possible, gloves and fascinators. Your girl ain't got neither. Nothing. But I was like, the craft store, no. I was like, where can I get one? And that wasn't working out. And then someone said, I'm going to the craft store. You want anything? But I missed the message, blah, 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 whatever. So I was like, I'll go to the craft store. Y'all know I'm not going to a craft store. The craft store is literally like 2 blocks from me. I did not go to the craft store. But my girl was like, I could just whip out of my leftovers, I could whip something up for you. So that's also, I guess I should have mentioned, but there's a reason for wearing the fascinator. The reason is I worked at a tea party yesterday. I loved it. I I have a habit of saving things for later, and it's a habit I'm trying to get out of. So this fascinator with a feather isn't going to last until the next time I need a fascinator, right? Like
I put mine in the drawer in hopes, and as I did it, I thought, when are you going to need another fascinator?
When? And so, especially with the feather, I was like, it's probably like 2 months before this feather breaks. Like there's nowhere to store. Like I need a box to store it so that it didn't get messed up. And then I have to remember which box it was in, all that stuff. And so in an effort to not keep nice things for later and to enjoy them now, I'm wearing yesterday's fascinator today because I will probably never wear it again. And then in like 3 years, I'll be like, it's all jacked up. I got to throw it away, which hurts because y'all know I don't like to throw things away. Maximalist over here. I have a hard time decluttering, and so I want to get more wear out of it before it ends up in a junk drawer.
I'm over here really appreciating my work. It looks really good.
It looks really nice. She was like, I can whip something up out of some ribbon, and I showed up, and I was like, they're stones and feathers and shit. I thought it was gonna be like a couple of ribbons, just boop boop boop, and I was fine with that because, like I said, your girl does not go to the craft store that's 2 blocks away. But she hooked me up, and it can sit in with just one safety pin. So I mean, one bobby pin. There's one bobby pin here, and I put another one in just in case. But this one holds it up. It's so light. It's perfect. Adalia's new side business. That's Adalia's new side business. She doesn't know it yet, but yes. So Regathering of Israel blog channel. That's a name. We are going to be answering Mexico City questions, but we are in the moment. We're shimmying for y'all right now. Okay, so no, I did not see those comments. I'm super late on the comments. It snowed in Denver. I have a fan on. I sat down at my desk and I was like, I'm not going to get through this video without having a fan on. And Adalia showed up fanning herself. I was just like,
y'all, it's hot.
So let's talk about first the weather in Mexico City, because I saw a news story yesterday about how the weather has been like atrociously hot in India and it's going to impact the rest of the world. It is already impacting us here. I don't know what it skipped over to leave from India to get over here, but we are having weather difficulties. In May, it's supposed to be entering like a cooler season. Not like
at this point in May. At this point in May, we should be on the downslope getting ready for rainy season. And it was like 86, 87 yesterday. And I know before somebody says that's not hot, yes, it is. When you don't have AC and you're at 7,000 feet above sea level, that's hot.
When the taxis and the Ubers and any kind of public transportation is like, what is air conditioning? It's hot. It's when there's no air conditioned car to hop in, when you're taking the bus or the train with 70,000 people, it's hot. It's hot. And if it's not what the city's supposed to be like, it's not supposed to be 87 degrees in the end of May.
And it's been hot since February. That's the other thing. It shouldn't have been hot then. We've been dealing with this for 4 months, and this is supposed to be 1 month a year. So, yeah, it's a problem.
So it's supposed to, yeah. I would say like April is probably like the hottest month.
It's May, but it's like end of April into May.
Yes.
And then rainy season is supposed to start, and we're supposed to be all good.
And quench us. But rainy season said, we are not interested in your business. That's y'all got to handle that. So we're a little concerned about what the rest of the year looks like, because people are here, people who are not from here and think that Mexico City is something Mexico City isn't, are coming here like, oh, the weather's so perfect, the weather's so lovely. And everyone in Mexico City is like, what is this shit? Us long timers are like, I don't know, like it's supposed to be rainy and cooling down. And so the air's been terrible. It's not just the heat. The air's been terrible.
Yes.
we are people who love the city. We're saying this with love. Bad air at like miles above sea level, bad air in the clouds is not awesome. It's not. And so even when our air isn't particularly bad, it can still, people come here because of the altitude. A lot of times they have some breathing problems or they struggle, they get tired easily. So I'm ready for this, ready for the rain.
Yeah.
Kenya's visiting in June. Is what should she expect weather-wise? If it's not the apocalypse, it should rain every day around 6 o'clock. That rain may last 1 hour, 4 hours. It may last all night, but by the morning it's done. So make your plans for morning to mid-afternoon, because if the rain is heavy, like, you know, like people are like, oh, in Hawaii it just sprinkles, and then it goes away and it's lovely for the rest of the day. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a lot of times flooding, right? A lot of times that rain, you go inside and don't bother coming back. Just go inside and be done.
Yeah, basically make your plans during the day. By 6 p.m. you need to be somewhere.
And right, like it's not that bad if you're outside at a restaurant. Cool, it's not that bad. But getting home is going to cost you more and it's going to take longer because the streets are flooded, and these Ubers and whatever you're taking, surge pricing. People who wouldn't normally might walk if they're taking public transportation are now going to be taking public transportation. So everything just gets a little bit more congested in the summer because of the weather. So daytime activities. I don't plan to do anything after 6 p.m. in rainy season. I'd be in the house. Unless it's reservations. And then it's got to be like really good ones. I'll be in the house. All right.
Greta had a question about air conditioning I saw somewhere.
Oh, girl, no. Unless you're in a hotel and probably an American brand hotel, like a Marriott, Hilton, one of those. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. That Airbnb might have a fan. If you're coming in the summer, I'm going to say October. If you're going to be coming to Mexico City, October through April, make sure if you're staying in Airbnb, they have a space heater. If you're coming February through November, make sure they have a fan. And yes, those are overlapping months because a lot of days it's going to be a fan
both
and a heater next, or both in the same day. Like I literally am not playing with you. I have done fan heater. Not like in a mix, but like at one part of the day it's definite heat, or one part of the day it's definite fan. It's how we live. No heating. If you're in, like I said, a Marriott, a Hilton, a Hyatt, you will get that. But otherwise, maybe in some of the really like the I don't know what we call them here, but the mansions here.
Or if it's a property that was owned by a foreigner and that foreigner installed air conditioning, but it wasn't built with air conditioning.
No. Mm-mm. Yeah. So we learned to live to Adalia's point, we learned to live without air conditioning here. So people are probably not, even with a lot of money, are probably not building air conditioning in because it's not what they're used to. This place isn't like the US where I see air conditioning units in windows in apartments. So Greta, you asked about air conditioning, buying your own air conditioners. No, baby, buy a fan. You go buy a fan. And
every now and then I will see like some corporate expats who are getting ready to leave, and they will be selling one of those. What are those portable air conditioners where you have to it has the hose and you put it out the window? Yeah. Like every blue moon, I will see one of those, but most people make do with fans. I do not have a fan because I keep hoping the weather will cool down so I don't have to buy one, but I might have to break down and buy one.
I have two. I have 3 space heaters because my mama hates the cold, and 2 fans because she was like, 1 for my room, 1 for your room. And literally we bought them. I went into the grocery store by my house, and one day, right by the entrance, it was all the space heaters because it was like, they don't even wait for you to get inside. Like right by the entrance, girl, we know why you here. Come get this space heater. 2 days later, I kid you not, it was nothing but fans. Like they know, they know this weather is like, come get it. Okay, Teresa, I want to open the windows. Girl, I've been choking on this air. And so my filter is almost always on.
I have my front door open. I had the front door open and the balcony and some windows trying to get a cross breeze. And Mia was not happy about that.
Oh yeah, I think Teresa, you have a cross breeze. I don't have one because my windows only face one direction. My windows are all parallel to each other. So there's absolutely no cross breeze here. I can get a little bit of breeze in, but it's not enough at this time of the day to be worth getting the unfiltered air in. I will be, yeah. But you know, it's the point. I get it. I get it. My son has asthma. We're concerned about his health in the hot, dry weather. People live here with asthma. If you're not, but they're used to the altitude. The altitude, it takes a while to get used to. So if you're only here for 3 days, it could be a problem. I don't know. I don't think the weather is particularly, I think you're talking about coming this summer and the weather is not particularly dry because of all the rain. It literally rains every day. It's every day. And so
the air quality typically improves during the summer.
Yes, because it rains and all the pollutants get, knocked out or whatever that science is. You're planning to come visit for at least 4 months. If you're 4 months in the summertime, that might be good months for someone who's worried about the hot, dry weather.
Because rainy season, now, y'all, we've already stressed the weather is not behaving the way it's supposed to, but typically rainy season should be starting about now. And should be in full effect in June. And it typically goes into parts of October. But we'll see, because things aren't doing what they're supposed to do this year.
Not at all. Not at all. All right. Oh yeah, if you're going to, okay, so regathering, I thought you were coming to Mexico City. If you're going to Merida, I have absolutely no advice about the weather.
Be prepared. Be prepared for that heat and that humidity.
Vanessa asked about, nope, that was not Vanessa. Somebody else. Oh, Auntie Lou said, do you have screens on the windows? Are bugs a problem here? I don't have screens on any windows, and I very rarely even get a fly.
There's only one apartment in my building, a couple of floors down. I noticed they have screens. And I was like, where did they get those? Because I might want to get some. But in my building, most of us do not have screens. And in rainy season, I am less inclined to leave a window open because there are more mosquitoes, but I wouldn't say there's like a mosquito problem. It's still like 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
the other day when I was out on my balcony, I lit a citronella candle because I thought I got bitten, but like I couldn't find a bite later. So yeah, it's like any place there are bugs, but it's not like we are not in like the hot, humid, jungly climate of a lot of other parts of the country. We're not in the beach cities, so we don't have the same bug problems. Plus, we way up in the sky. These bugs are tired. They are tired of being here. All right. I went online looking at renting apartments in Mexico. I looked into Tulum and Puerto Vallarta, and it was expensive. Yes, girl. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think people think about Mexico. We talked a video about this a couple weeks ago. People think about Mexico and think that it's automatically going to be cheap. And it may have been inexpensive. 10 years ago.
4 years ago, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years ago it was.
It was cheaper, but like those rock bottom, you can find a baller apartment for $300. Some people think like all of Mexico is just not the case. It's not. So Adalia will be back. Things are more expensive than most people think when they end up looking. Even sometimes me, like I said, I've been here for years. Even sometimes me, I'm like, why is this so expensive? Like what's happening? Like I used to buy local flowers all the time. And now with the influx of tourists, and they're seeing tourists paying more for little things like flowers, they start quoting me prices. And I'm like, there's no way I'm paying you that for that. Like, just no. And that's like, well, how much do you want to pay? I do not want to be treated like a sucker, right? We have a craft market here, La Ciudadela. And I went there the other day and I got quoted a price for something. I knew I should not ask about prices. I just knew it. I just knew. I said price, they told me a price, and I was like, you need to quit playing in my face. Like literally, like there's nothing else for us to talk about if this is your starting point. Because you're selling me something you're trying to sell me something that I could have gotten 2 years ago for $20. You're trying to sell it to me for $75. And I'm offended. I'm offended that you're treating me like a tourist. I live here. But like that doesn't translate very well. So I was just like, all right, bye. Yeah. I was like, okay. You want how many pesos for that? No. All right, bye. And I think it's made in China anyway. Please move around. Not around here. So there's that. Prices have skyrocketed with certain people working here as digital nomads, etc.
There's inflation, and then there is prices have gone up because of the digital nomads.
Yes. And I can't be like, dog, I'm not here for a month, right?
Like I live here.
Would you like to see my residency card? I'm not paying that price. That does not, like I said, that does not translate well in a simple exchange with people. And I don't feel like negotiating with you. Like either I want to pay the price you quote me or you don't. But some prices quoted are just so offensive that I'm like, we're not at the same table. Like it's not like we're coming to the table to negotiate. We're at different tables. And I'm gonna take my bag and go. Anyway. A city in Mexico that is near the beach, 30-minute drive, but also cool at night for sleeping.
Okay, y'all, this is geography. You can't be near the beach and it not be hot in Mexico. Because even if you're talking about somewhere like Cabo, it gets cool at night, but it still gets hot.
Yeah. And okay, so even if I think there are places you can get that, but it's seasonally. So if you want to be somewhere in the winter, it may be cooler at night, but in summertime, near our beaches, you're unlikely to see it. Mm-mm. No. A pack of bacon is $12 in the US. I'm gonna find my receipt from yesterday. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I remember when that was like what bacon cost in Hawaii. So if in the mainland it costs $12, what does it cost in Hawaii? Like, that's crazy.
Well, guess who paid $15 for bacon yesterday?
Okay, but how big of a pack of bacon was it? Because you went to Costco.
It was a double pack. It wasn't the regular pack. It was thick cut. So it was like this thick on one side and this thick on the other. Wide, like the strips were not spread out. The strips were standing side to side.
See, so even though you spent $15, that's not the same thing.
I went to Costco, like, how come when I order, a lot of us here use grocery delivery services because labor is still generally pretty inexpensive here. So things like getting someone to buy your groceries and getting someone to deliver them does not add a lot of expense to the grocery experience. So, and And when I do grocery delivery, I'm like, yes. At Costco, I'm like under 100, under 100, under 100. I go in the store and I'm like 300 and something. I'm like, how? I went to the store because I didn't need, I physically went there because I was in the neighborhood generally. And I was like, and I don't need many things. So it'd be like $50.
So here's the thing. The takeaway is Costco will get you no matter what country you in.
Listen, we ain't got a Target here for me to walk into and lose all my money. So I guess I do that at Costco now. I don't know. But I do buy things that like cost more, like a lot of berries and stuff that are not that cheap here. But I'm displeased. All right, a dozen eggs are $3.50 at Walmart in Houston.
That's the price for like organic eggs here.
Mm-hmm. Uber prices. Yes. Have we seen Uber prices going up here? Yes.
Yes, they have.
Yes, they have. And okay, so to be fair, Uber prices here are still relatively cheap to the US. So I start asking Uber, what are they thinking when my Uber ride is like $12 here? I'm like, why y'all playing these games? Who do you think? I literally start talking to my phone. Who do you think you are? What is going? I'll take a screenshot, send it to Adalia. Like, what's happening? Why are they playing with me? And it's like $10 to $12 because we're used to seeing like $2 to $3.
Because if I'm going to spend $12, I should be going to the airport during rush hour if I'm spending $12.
Yes. Not to get to the neighborhood that is next to mine. Yeah. And so I've been taking the bus a lot more, doing other things. And truly, like taking the train. I wanted to go somewhere yesterday, and on an Uber, it was maybe like $8. But on the train,
40 cents.
25 cents. 25 cents on the train. It's 25 cents on the train versus $8 in Uber. So even though the $8 isn't, I mean, y'all in the US are probably like, those are great prices, right? And it is great prices compared to the US, but compared to the economics in Mexico, wild. Those prices are absolutely wild compared to the economics in Mexico. So I'm like, let me get my butt on the train or the bus or something else, because me and my 2 feet gonna explore, because literally paying $12 to go 1/3 of what $12 used to get me. And I'm like, I'm not into it.
Yeah. And then right now we are, because the air quality is so bad in Mexico City, they have a system where they restrict certain cars on certain days in an effort to reduce the air pollution. And so, of course, when that is in effect, that impacts the availability of Ubers and DDs and whatnot as well. So I think, like yesterday, I think that was part of what drove up prices yesterday. So yeah, I am trying to be on the trolley bus and the metro and the bus, because I don't want to pay that kind of money.
I walked to the subway. So I'm like a 15-minute walk to the subway, which is why I tend to 15-20-minute walk, depending on how I'm moving. It's why I tend to take Ubers more often, because if I'm going somewhere, but if I'm not in walking shoes, I'm not walking 15, right? If I put a face on, I'm probably not walking in 87 degrees to get to a train. But like going to work out, going to like a studio somewhere else, sure, no problem. But now I'm like, am I not going? Am I paying this crazy? Is it worth it? What's going on afterwards? Like how can I get 2 things done? Which is why I went to Costco yesterday, because I was like, I'm in the area. Let me just walk over. I have to Uber home anyway, but I won't have to Uber there and home. And honestly, sometimes the Ubers are still $2. I think my Uber home yesterday was $3. But a lot of times going that same ride on Uber, which a bus takes me directly. There's a direct 25-cent bus route, 30-cent bus route. direct. But when I'm hauling things, it's harder. But that bus route, even though the Uber will sometimes be like $8 to get to Costco, the bus is always 30 cents. And the bus comes faster than the Ubers most of the time. That's the other thing. The prices have gone up, and so has the frustration because they can't find the cars half the time.
Yeah.
And
I'm waiting longer to get a car than I did
it's
before.
always someone dropping someone off. So it'll be like, this person will be here in 17 minutes. And I'm like, my 7 buses will have gone past in 17 minutes. Why not just walk to the corner? Why not just walk to the corner?
And
so
once upon a time, like, I hesitated to call an Uber if I was not standing on the street because they would show up so quickly. Now I got to start 15, 20 minutes out ahead of when I'm trying to leave.
I plan my Uber for at least 15. If I need to be somewhere at a specific time, 15 minutes ahead of time. Plan it. Because what are these? What are these numbers? What's happening? Let's see. Can you expand on cost estimates of a 5-bedroom unit with AC? Absolutely not. Like you said something about Merida earlier, so I don't know which city you're talking about, number 1. Number 2, I've never tried to rent anything above a 2-bedroom. And number 3, if you're talking about Mexico City, it's not going to have the AC. And so I don't know. I don't know what question you specifically want answered, but whatever it is, I know I can't answer it. 5-bedroom units aren't in this city aren't a popular thing unless how would we describe it, Adalia?
5 bedrooms? I would think you are going, are you independently wealthy? I don't know. 5 bedrooms?
We just don't see it.
Yeah. And maybe they exist and I am just not in that circle of people.
We see people renting houses all the time, but they're like 3-bedroom houses, right? So even outside of apartments, we see, because we're in these groups, we see people renting units. If I see something bigger than a 4, the one in Coyoacán we saw the other day, was that a 3-bedroom, like 5-bath? Was that what that was?
I think so.
3? But it wasn't over 3 bedrooms, right?
No, I don't think it was.
There are probably 5. I'm sure there are 5-bedroom places in this city. I'm sure they've been in the same families for decades since they were built, right?
That's what I would bet.
I think the way to get a 5-bedroom, if we're talking about Mexico City, the way to get a 5-bedroom apartment is to have your company move you down here and they know you need 5 bedrooms. That's how you get one. Otherwise, I couldn't even guess at a number of what would rent you because people just don't live like that. Like I don't see them ever come up for rent. So I can't even research that. Let's see. Teresa, our beautiful chef, says that a dozen organic eggs in Mexico City is $3 around. Oh, if we didn't live in Mexico City, that's Patty Oshie's question. If we didn't live in Mexico City, what city would we live in? What city would you live in, Adalia?
I don't know. And that's
Where
been
Where else in Mexico?
Where else in Mexico? I don't know. And that's been a frequently asked question because I have tried to find another place that gives me what Mexico City gives me, but let's say at a lower price point. And that has not been a successful search. I did not love Guadalajara. I really didn't. So far in Mexico, there has been no place I have visited where I was like, okay, I could do this full time. So I don't know. I mean, if something were to happen and I had to move to another city, I'm sure I would do it. But by choice right now, I don't have a place. Not in Mexico, no.
I think I would leave Mexico before I'd move to another city in Mexico. And that's okay. So to be fair, I am a human that likes what I like what I like. I know what I like. I like what I like. None of the cities I've ever visited in Mexico give me what Mexico City gives me. But you don't care what Mexico City gives me, right? Like you need to find a city that gives you what you want. We always say that Mexico City's broken us. It's broken us. Like
It has, because I see Teresa talking about Querétaro, which I had high hopes for, because I had heard how everybody talked about, like, it's kind of got a bit of an international flair because of the university and all of the foreign companies there. And I went and I was like, what is this heat? That was the first thing. I was like, it is so, and it probably wasn't as hot as it felt to me. But after living here, I was like, this is not it. So Querétaro is not going to work. Las Vegas is not going to work, which is out in Helotepec.
It's Las Vegas, Mexico.
That's not going to work either, because that is,
yes, get us out there with the coyotes and the natural monsters. Hang on a sentence.
Because I am a city girl. So I need a city, not a town that wants to be a city. I need a full-blown city. And, you know, Guadalajara seems like the obvious choice, except they did not win me over.
Guadalajara is a lie. Guadalajara is a whole stinking lie. I know people in the comments are going to come here defending Guadalajara. I don't care. You can love it as much as you love it. I'm not saying it's not right for you. I'm saying that for me and my house and these plants, we will not be in Guadalajara. No. It was just like Mexico City minus
all of the good stuff.
Like, I was like, what is this? What?
And in case anybody is wondering, we visited Guadalajara completely independent of the other.
No, we've not been there together. So this is different experiences. I was with my mom. She had the same thing. We said the same thing about Guadalajara, about Querétaro, about a lot of the cities. Like if I know I'm going to a small quaint town, I'm good, right? I don't have the same expectations. But if you tell me like this is the biggest, next biggest town, blah, and you're looking like a kindergartner, Guadalajara is like a kindergartner to me. Like, what is this? Like, yes, I see that cute little art you created. I will put it on the fridge, and then when you're not watching, I'm gonna throw it away. That's how I feel about Guadalajara. Like, and I know it's beloved. It does not speak to my spirit. Good question from Sarah Grant. What is the typical cost difference between a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom apartment in Mexico City? Good question. Incredibly hard to answer. Because the scale of a 1-bedroom in Mexico City is going to be like $60 a month to $6,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, right? There's no like,
because here's the thing. There is no true definition of a 1-bedroom.
Well, yes,
like in the US, when they say 1-bedroom, you know that is a bedroom with a door, a bathroom, a living room, a kitchen. Here, the term 1-bedroom, sometimes they will slide in mini apartment, or they'll call it a loft. And that is your bed is next to the couch, next to the front door.
That could be your apartment is an add-on to someone's roof.
Yes, that's the other thing. It is, they put up 4 walls on the roof of their building, and that is the 1-bedroom apartment. So it could be any of that, all the way up to developments that have as ideal customers foreigners who want 1-bedroom apartments. And that is going to cost you a lot of money.
Foreigners who are being sent down here on corporate positions, right? If your company's sending you down here, there are people who specialize in running up that rent, right? Like there are people who are like, yes, we will find you a place, and it's going to cost an arm and all the legs. And so and multiply like the vast wealth inequality right here by the differing neighborhoods. Like you can legit find a 1-bedroom here, I'm sure, for $60. You might not want to put your body in it, right? Like you might not want to stay in it.
Okay. It was either last night or this morning in a local apartment group I'm in. I saw somebody advertise the room on the roof some buildings have that's like next to the laundry, but there's a toilet and it's I guess by very loose definition, it is an apartment, but basically it's where you make the help live. Like somebody was renting that. And it was maybe $100 a month. But y'all, I've seen one of those in person. No.
But that same thing exists further out in the outskirts. Right?
Yes.
You get it for less.
Yes. And if you're talking about one of these, like when we think of a 1-bedroom apartment, you could be talking about, you are talking about over $1,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in this city.
Now.
If you're talking about
now, but
now, if you're talking about what we think of as a 1-bedroom apartment, you're easily over $1,000.
And a 2-bedroom?
The 2-bedroom might be cheaper, depending where you are. But if you're in that same area that has 1-bedrooms like we're used to, that depending on the building that and the neighborhood, that 2-bedroom could cost you. And I know that's annoying to people. They're like, just give us a damn number. But it is a very hard thing because there are layers. It's like, well, where's the neighborhood? What kind of neighborhood is it? What kind of building is it? Who is the intended, client? All of that stuff figures in.
The other thing is, we love a city, and these are all things we're saying with love, but it's going to sound kind of terrible. This city is earthquake prone. Do you want to be in an older building that has survived and not been damaged no identified damage in the last major earthquakes? Because that's a selling point to some people. Do you want to be in a new building that should be built to some kind of earthquake standards? It's very, very hard to get a number. What I will say is that you can rent something at any price point. You can rent whatever you want at whatever price point, I think is the best way to put it. You can find something at any price point. You just might not want what you find.
We've seen 1-bedrooms for $2,000 US before. Mm-hmm. And then, it really depends. It depends.
Like any dollar amount you have, you can rent something for. It's just going to depend on if that meets your criteria and what your criteria. I don't know what your criteria is, but there's a lot to consider. When looking for apartments here, because it is a town and like every neighborhood is different. I think the earthquake thing is important to a lot of people. It's less important to others. The smell of your apartment matters, right? Because I can show you a gorgeous apartment, but that smell-o-vision might not tell you if the sewer smell comes through the pipes, right? Like, those are all important things that are kind of intangibles.
And yes, Sarah, I typically say you'll do better looking for a 2-bedroom because generally 1-bedrooms, the price point on them is not going to hit where you want it to hit.
Mm-mm. And 1-bedrooms, because this is a very family-oriented country and town, 1-bedrooms are generally not as popular as 2 or 3-bedroom apartments because people tend to live with their families for a long time. And so that 1-bedroom doesn't really work. So do you need security, right? I need security. Not so much for me physically, but for like packages and groceries and all those things. Because if not, like, Adalia, if legit here, if the UPS man drove by, DHL, whoever's delivering these days, drove by and I wasn't home, They might kick it over the fence. They might leave it outside. They might
send it back.
They might send it back.
No, that was my one and only reason for wanting a security. Well, no, that was my second reason for wanting a security guard. The other one was in smaller buildings that don't have them. You are wholly dependent on your neighbors to make sure that the entrance is secure. And if there is one thing I learned in the last 2 years, is you can't depend on everybody for things like that. So yeah.
Okay, Alicia says, if you find an apartment online, visit Marketplace, Craigslist, or local rental sites, how do you know it's not a scam? I think the same way, in the US, like you do your research, you go there, you visit them. If they can never show it to you when you want to see it, and always has to be some funky hours, that could be a scam.
Because there were some people who tried to scam me. Like, I had been looking at Airbnb. This is before Airbnb got ridiculous. I'd been looking at all the websites. And so I was seeing apartments in neighborhoods, but at a lower price point. And then when I would message them, they would come back, but it was like they wouldn't schedule a showing. It was like they were trying to get me to send money or, something else. And I was like, okay, this is a scam then. Let me move on.
Right. I used a realtor that was advertising when I first started looking, I walked around to neighborhoods I liked or neighborhoods I knew. And I wrote down the names and the numbers of the people. Some realtor business in Mexico City is kind of like, some people are motivated, some people are not. Some realtors were like calling me back right away, answering the phone, boom, boom. Others were like,
what else?
You would like me to labor? That's not what I do. Some realtors were really like, I'm not like legit. Or if I didn't speak, because I didn't speak fluent Spanish, it was very much like, oh, I'm not even gonna pretend to try to have this call with you. Like, someone speaking good Spanish will call and they will get that apartment. It was very much like that. Like, I'm not even entertaining this call. Like, we're not gonna muddle through this conversation. Anyway, I found one. We looked at like 6 different places. If you have access and keys to show me 6 different apartments in different buildings, you're probably not scamming, right? Like, you're probably not scamming. I signed a full lease. She worked with she had a company. I had never spoken to the landlord before I signed my lease.
And see, my landlord was here when they showed me the apartment. So the realtor who listed it, because I found it on Craigslist, but the realtor who listed it was here. The landlord was here. And then when I signed the lease, both of the landlords were here.
I've been here in this apartment over a year and a half, and I've never seen my landlord. Not one time. Never spoke. Like, we never spoken on the phone. We text each other. We need something, we text each other. And that's it. We text each other. Girls are saying work and text each other. We just text each other. She could be living in this building.
And you could walk past her every day.
Walk past her every day. I have no idea. Girl, who? But she gets that money. And she leaves me alone. Praises. Right? Like, I don't need nothing else. I get the money. I pay her the money. She raised my rent by $37 this year. She tried to raise it by like $75. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to pay more money. And she's like, what if we meet in the middle? And I was like, okay, I'll pay you $37 more. And that's literally the entire, but these legit, if she rented it on the market now, she could probably get $500 more than I'm paying. This is why I'll be here for a while, probably. What apps do you use on a daily basis that make life easy in Mexico City easier? I use Rappi, R-A-P-P-I. R-A-P-P-I. You can get
everything.
You can get birth control delivered. You can get groceries. I order from
cash.
Costco. You can get cash delivered. You can get a pet delivered, probably. I don't know.
One of the examples they Gabe, I have not tried this, is like it's like an errand service. So they're like, do you want popcorn from the movies? Like, if there is something you want in this city and you don't want to leave your house to get it, there is some way to get it through Rappi.
RAPPI. People ask all the time. They will deliver anything. I think that's number one. That and Uber are my two. Uber/Didi are my two apps. What about you?
I try to avoid Didi. Although I had to take Didi's yesterday. So for me, Google Maps and Move It, because I need to know how to get someplace, because I'm trying to do more mass transit, that kind of stuff. And then like, as I'm finding, somebody mentions a restaurant, somebody mentions a colonia or whatever, I'm on Google Maps. They don't call me the map lady for nothing. So I use those. What else do I use? I use Corner Shop more than Rappi, but Rappi has better Costco prices than Corner Shop does.
I never noticed that.
Yes.
I've never used Corner Shop, but that, and occasionally Uber Eats, but not really. Speaking of which, I took photos because I was going to post it on my IG stories at @SheetaD yesterday, but I didn't do it. But when I went to Costco, I'm gonna tell you what is outside of my Costco, like outside of the doors of my Costco. It's the outside. There's a little like plaza area. And then the Costco is really like in a shopping center. But so the outside of a shopping center, there is, I passed a graduation. They were really cute. A Wingstop, a UPS store, a Carl's Jr. There was a Wendy's, but it closed. A Panda Express, AT&T, Krispy Kreme.
I didn't know we had Wendy's here.
We have Wendy's here.
I didn't know that.
Wendy's here. That one closed, but there are other Wendy's in the city. A Starbucks, I think the Starbucks, a Miniso, which isn't, I don't know if you guys know that, but it's not in America. It's not a Mexican brand. Santa Clara is a Mexican brand though, right?
Yes.
Okay. So out of all of those brands, or one of those, Santa Clara, I didn't mention, is a Mexican brand. Something that closed, and I can't think of what it was, but another Mexican brand, another US brand, food place, I can't remember what it was, that closed. A Subway and the Wendy's. All of those are the things that are outside. So I was like, 9 US brands, a Japanese brand, and 1 Mexican brand. Globalization. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So certain US brands are very well loved here. Krispy Kreme. There's a shopping center I go to that has two separate Krispy Kreme stores in the mall. Why?
Well, at the airport, you will see people who are flying domestically in Mexico taking Krispy Kreme with them.
Yes. It's well loved here. I don't know what it is, but people here love. And on the way down, you'll see people bringing to other cities, not to Mexico City so much because we have so many of them here, but people will bring that. You'll see them bringing down Krispy Kreme with them to go to other cities in Mexico from the US.
Oh, yeah. Somebody mentioned WhatsApp. I forgot about that.
Well, I just love WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my phone. Because I don't think there is a Mexico City app, and I used it for a little bit, but then
I didn't. What apps do you use? She had to Google Wendy's.
Well, she's not from the US.
Right. And I guess I feel like I've seen a lot of Wendy's that maybe I'm
well, there are none over here. I would also say I use my QR scanner app. I use that way more here than I do anywhere else.
You don't just use your camera? You use an
app? My camera's weird. It doesn't do that. I have to have an app.
Okay. There's a bunch of KFCs. Popeyes is popular here too. Hey Francine, hey Tiffany. Let's see. Besides the Central City, Roma, and Polanco, which would you recommend any other neighborhoods? Adalia has a great video on
underrated neighborhoods.
You should drop that in the thingy. Greta asks, is Santa Fe near Polanco? That
No.
depends on what time of day it is, right?
That is very
Sometimes
true.
it's 20 minutes away, and sometimes it's an hour and 30 minutes away. It depends.
That is very true.
But no one ever says, no one here will say, oh, I'm just going around the corner. I'm going to Santa Fe. Like I'm in Polanco, but I'm just going to go to Santa Fe real quick. That's a journey. I had a friend who was in town who had, I think she was staying maybe Aroma or Polanco, I don't remember which one. And she had friends in Santa Fe, and they planned on coming out to visit twice to see her in a more central location in Santa Fe. And then one day they were like, it's too, we're not coming. Like literally, we're good friends. We were planning on seeing you, but these Uber prices tell us we're not going to see you today. We will see you one time instead of seeing you twice while you're visiting the city. And she didn't live here. She was literally just visiting for like 3 days. Instead of seeing you twice in these 3 days, we will see you once, because these Uber prices say, no, thank you. When people are visiting, I remind them, I think you can drop it in the thingy.
I can't. I don't have a place.
In the live stream, in the actual.
Oh, in the stream. Okay.
Yeah. I could see your face. I knew what was going on. I knew what was happening in the actual live stream. Okay. So yeah, her friends were like, so it's far enough away that your friends might not come see you as planned because it's that expensive. I think, I don't know the stats on this, but I think that most people in Santa Fe have drivers. It's not a very walkable.
Or they have their own car. There is a vehicle waiting for them. They're not relying on ride sharing, and we're definitely not relying on public transportation the way those of us in more central locations are. Because most people who are out in Santa Fe are there for a reason, usually work. It's the headquarters of a lot of company or offices. Maybe not headquarters, but offices of a lot of international companies. If you're coming to Mexico City to see Mexico City, don't stay in Santa Fe. You can find a lovely place, probably a lovely place. Comparatively, if it's cheaper than other places in the city, it will not work out cheaper for you overall. It will not. Yes, I went to City Market the other day. You asked Greta about City Market. It is a lot like Whole Foods. You mentioned that in another comment. I don't know. I don't like City Market as much as I like Whole Foods. I think if you want high-end things, City Market is great. But if you want more like organic, like you want pre-made kimchi and things like that. Like yesterday, I went to Yema because I wanted some shirataki noodles. And Yema is kind of like the green corner. If you're into like crunchy, like I don't want any kind of artificial anything. I want all organic green pastured meat. Hey, don't give me that look. You had hopped in your Uber and left, and I walked around the corner to Yema. So, okay. But City Market, definitely, if there's a imported item you want and it's higher end, that's definitely the place to go. City Market, La Comer, and Fresco are all owned by the same company. I prefer Fresco. Like, that's a grocery store I go in and I feel good just walking in there. I prefer them, but City Market is where I go if I need something very, very specific that I can't find other places.
City Market is where I go if I'm in the neighborhood. It's not close to me, right? And so I'm like, if I'm over here, let me walk. It feels like walking through a Whole Foods. And I like the way that feels sometimes. As if I'm in the neighborhood, I might just wander through and see like, oh, as every other day, they had a whole floor to ceiling shelf area full of olives, different types of olives.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm not going to find that in La Comer or the Walmart grocery store or right.
Or you want to grind your own peanut butter or cashew butter or almond butter. You do that at City Market. They also have a really good bakery and a place to sit and work Like they have that going for them that other places don't.
Mm-hmm. We don't translate La Comer. Alicia asked, how does that translate? I don't know.
That is the name.
It's La Comer.
Which is, I guess, the food, but I don't know.
I don't really
or eat it, maybe. But no, it's La Comer. Fresco with an F. Fresco.
I haven't
Fresco.
seen one in a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen Fresco.
I don't think there is many. I know there's one on Intergentes. There's one down in Coyoacan. That's the closest one to me. But I like Fresco's.
Okay. I'll check it out. Alicia asks, I have a Telcel SIM. Can I reload it online or can I only reload it at OXXO? I have a Telcel SIM and there is an app called MI Telcel, and I use that app to reload my phone.
And I have never used that app. I didn't know it existed. You can go to OXXO, but you can also do it on Uno Dos Tres. They have an app and they have a website, and they don't charge you for that. They charge you to pay you. They charge you if like you want to pay your light bill, your water bill. They charge you for that. They do not charge you if you are recharging a SIM card.
I didn't know that, but no, I do mine directly through. Maybe I'll try Uno Dos Tres because reloading through the Telcel app isn't always clear. So sometimes I'm like, what's happening over there? But yes, it's a Telcel app. Oh, Kevin said you're using that. He described your app usage. Ferocity. The ferocity of an alias using that fan is scaring the hell out of me. It's hot. It's hot,
y'all. And there's a light right here.
I did not. So usually I have a light on this side of my face. I did not turn on that light today because I was like, y'all gonna get what you gonna get, but I will not be up here sweating to death. Thank you.
So no, it's hot, y'all.
Oh, listen, Teresa be knowing the things. La Comer comes from La Comercializadora, the one who makes business.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Like I said, I never even considered what it translated to because it's La Comer. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, I just took that as the name and kept moving, but no, that makes far more sense.
Alicia, it's uno, dos, tres, like the numbers. I just dropped it in the comments, and that's all.
And you can use them to pay pretty much any bill you want, but they do charge you for the convenience of being able to.
Right?
Yeah, OXXO does as well.
Every place you want to pay your bill that's not going directly to the company, you're going to pay your bill. But it's usually like 50 cents-ish, right?
Yeah. Uno Dos Tres will charge you that convenience fee. And then if you're going to use like PayPal or a credit card, they're going to charge you another small fee, like 12 pesos to do that. But they don't charge me that when I re-up my phone.
Okay. Fran says she uses her bank app to pay her Telcel. I didn't know Francine had what was Mexican bank account ready. Like I didn't realize that, girl.
Well, she was working. She didn't have a bank account.
My brain wasn't processing that.
I use my bank account as well when I have money in there. And when I don't, I hop on Uno Dos Tres.
Mexican bank accounts make a lot of things easier. Places that, like, when I go to the markets, I think I told you guys this before, the only person who will accept credit card that I can find at the secondhand market is the fur lady. So she gonna get my business one of these days. Probably not today. This
is gonna be hard on her.
Right? Which is the perfect time to go buy fur, right? Let's negotiate. You ain't selling shit. But like all the furniture vendors at that market were like, we will take a transfer from your bank, but that's all. We're not taking anything else. So having a Mexican bank account can be helpful, but them lines, I posted about the lines on my IG this week. It's a no.
And see, I will, when I have to go get cash, I get up early and go like at 8:00. Nobody's in line at 8:00.
Mexico City is not an early town. If you need to do anything, take it however you want. With all the undertones that might be there, they're all there. It's not an early town. If people are not getting paid to do something early in the morning, it's not. They're not doing it. It's which reminds me, it's hard to find an Uber early in the morning. I had to go somewhere the other day. I had to get an Uber like 5:45, and it was like, let me sit here for 20 minutes while they wait and search for a driver. I should have done the job of scheduling it ahead of time. I did not schedule it ahead of time, and I knew when I woke up, like, this is not going to be easy, is it? And it wasn't. What is going on in the background there, Adalia? You got a kid in the closet?
No, that's somebody downstairs, their kid. I feel like somebody recently had a baby. So,
But that's not a baby, is it?
yeah.
That's a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to move.
Yeah.
Francine has a credit card.
Oh.
Okay, that's a conversation. Shoot. It's hard for foreigners to get Mexican credit cards. So
my bank offered me one, but like the limit on it was very, very low. And then I thought like, oh, I get the credit card, I can use it, I can build credit. But then I was like, I don't even know, like, are the billing cycles still 28, 30 days? Like, I don't want to charge something and then fool around and be late and then be like, see, so I didn't get it.
Okay, what city in Mexico has air conditioning? Some of the beach cities do.
Places where it is hot all the time. It's supposed to be hot all the time.
It's not supposed to be as hot as it is right now, which is why we're uncomfortable. Does your apartment offer heat? My apartment offers windows and doors.
No.
Walls.
And that's very typical. And keep in mind that they don't insulate buildings because they're made of concrete typically. So, yeah, that's something to know here, which is one of the reasons why we often talk about the noise, because there is nothing but a concrete wall between me and my neighbor behind me. So, and her kitchen is behind me. So when she uses her blender, I hear it. And it's not her fault. There's just no insulation, no nothing.
But if you have lived your entire life in communities where there is no insulation, you tend to make less in-apartment noise than you might otherwise, because everybody can hear you, and everybody else, you can hear everybody else, and so people tend to be polite about that. Now on the streets, the street noise, they don't care. Like the street noise is just a street noise. That baby, like you hear the baby, but you don't hear it.
So, right? And because of the way this building is built, everybody in this building hears that baby.
But generally not other people, right?
No, not outside of this building.
No. But no, I meant that you don't hear the other adults in apartments.
No. Mostly I hear like the people upstairs have small children who love to stomp. Somebody had a baby. And then like I hear her blender, because again, her kitchen is right here. And I'm sure she hears my music. And I figure that's a fair trade.
But there's no like I don't hear my neighbors ever.
I don't hear anybody's like conversation or anything. Nah.
The volumes are typically like lower than I think they are in the US, unless it's the street. The street is just a thing. It just happens. And the street noise happens. Someone came to visit me the other day and she was like, oh, but I'm say this all the time, kind of generically, my apartment's in the 20s of my building. It's in the 20th floors. And she's like, but you're as high as you are. You don't hear any street noise, do you? And I was like, you can hear the kids from downstairs, like in the kids playing downstairs in like the community area. You can hear them in my apartment. You hear the honking, you hear the sirens, you hear all of that. It's impossible to escape the noise of this city because this is a city that thrives on noise. It just is. Allergy sufferers in Mexico City, child. I had my first allergy attack in years a couple weeks ago. Because because I think it was just the air. I don't know what it was, but just the air. But Adalia has more frequent allergy.
Um, I think this is something that has changed with climate change, because when I lived here before, I marveled at the fact that I did not have allergy issues. And when I was in Houston, my allergies hit like clockwork. And then when I came back in 2020, I was like, what's going on? And so I, ordered groceries and was like, oh, I can get some Claritin, but Claritin, I don't know what Claritin costs in the US, but I felt it was expensive. And I have found the Mexican version, which I can get 20 pills for $1.05. So I'm on that whenever I feel something. It's not a constant thing. Uh, so yeah. Yes, Greta, you can take the subway to the Benito Juarez, Mexico City airport. The new airport, good luck.
Oh, that's actually a really good point to talk about. If you see different planes, like if you're looking to come to Mexico City and you see multiple airports, take your ass to Benito Juarez. No matter what the prices say.
Don't go to that new airport.
Don't go to the other airport. Child. We joke because they built it way, way, way out of town. There's no public transportation. There's no like constant Ubers. Like maybe someone might be getting dropped off and so an Uber can pick you up. But if not, there are no Ubers in the area because ain't nobody flying in and out of the airport. There's no food. Legit, like even for their grand opening, people got stressed. Adalia was telling me people got stranded there what more important time is there for the government officials to make the airport look good than the grand official opening of the airport? People were stuck there for hours, Adalia?
Yeah.
Without
trying to get home afterward. And because there were no food services, they were stranded and they were hungry.
That airport is not ready yet. Just even if you go to a search and you search Mexico, what's it called?
It is Santa. The abbreviation is something weird. The abbreviation you want is MEX. That's the airport you want.
Benito Juarez
Santa
Airport.
Lucia is the other airport, and you don't want to go there.
MEX. That's all you need to know. That's all you. Don't play yourself. If you have transportation, if you want to arrange, if your price is like $3 to get there, and you want to arrange private transportation to pick you up and take you. Okay, but do not get to the airport and think
I'm just going to win this. No, you won't.
Because it's going to be hundreds of people off the same flight trying to wing it, and it's not going to look good for you. It's not.
No,
it's not. It's kind of a disaster. It almost be embarrassing if I would ever do that, but I'm not going to do that. Like I will.
Well, and I
like in or out of there.
It is so, and I know in a lot of other places, including Houston, the airports are far out. But y'all, when you can get transportation out there, you can't get to this airport in less than like an hour and a half, 2 hours. No, not when Benito Juarez, you can get there by the metro. You can get there by the Metrobus. Uber, Didi, all of those.
Taxis,
no, absolutely not.
No, we don't recommend it. Don't. But I think right now they have lower prices on their. I don't need to get tricked.
Okay, Teresa corrected me. Santa Lucia, was that the other airport, the one that they did not finish, and they built Felipe Angeles instead?
Okay,
that's what it is.
MEX is all you need. Great airport. Benito Juarez.
Yes, that is the airport you want. Benito Juarez.
The code is Mexico. MEX. All you need to know. The other airport. If it will take you 2 hours to get into Mexico City, here's the thing. If the smallest amount of time it will take you is an hour and a half, it could easily take you 4. the Benito Juarez is 20 minutes from my place with no traffic. It's taking me 2 hours to get home before. It's 20 minutes and it's taking me 2 hours. I was messaging Adalia one day like, I'm still in traffic. I'm in Centro Historico on like small back out. I'm in alleys. Like, I don't know what was going on that day with traffic, but the way I was rerouted, it took 2 hours to get back on a 20-minute ride. And so that hour and a half airport easily.
Nah,
And
I wouldn't do it.
They don't have food. A lot of people are getting their COVID test at the airport before they leave. If they don't have food, do they have COVID testing?
I doubt it. I'm
gonna
doubt it. There are no international flights out there. Well,
are there?
Not yet. Not yet.
There are international flights coming in.
That come in.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think there are some that go out. I think.
Oh no! Don't do it. If you'll leave with anything else today, don't do that.
That's not. It's in a city. It's not Mexico City. We don't know. We don't claim that. We don't claim that airport yet. It belongs to them out there. All right. How's the smog situation? Right. Teresa said, right now, the smog looks like a thunderstorm outside the window with sun looking at me with one eye.
I can't see anything. I can see about 4 streets. When I look out my kitchen window, I can see about 4 streets, and then it's just white.
I can tell that there are mountains.
Oh.
I can tell that there are mountains, but I cannot see the mountains.
I would not know there are mountains. I wouldn't know there is anything other than about 4 streets out when I look out that window. So no mountains for me today.
Direction, I can see that, like, I see where the buildings end and where there's like a little darkness in the horizon. The air is not good today, which is why Teresa said, open your door. And I was like, baby, no, my doors are closed.
And there's a UV warning today on top of that.
It's very stay in the house. But it's Sunday. So Sunday for me, stay in the house, because Sunday is a day when almost everything that is supported by the government is free for Mexican residents. So any museums, any kind of anything that the government subsidizes in some way.
And it's a day that a lot of people, it's their only day off of work.
Right. It's their only day off of work. And it's the day that a lot of things are free. And so if you plan on going to a tourist activity and you have flexibility about when you can go, don't go on Sunday. Baby. If I can, I don't leave the house on Sunday. Because one, people are out. The cars, the traffic, all of that stuff, the pandemic, all of that stuff, I don't go outside. But also, if you have something in mind so the malls are going to be like wild, not like wild, but like people.
A lot more people.
Real people-y. The subways, real people.
Everything's going to be people-y today.
Humans, right? A lot of people will try to go to like a museum today. The line, like, I can go to museums during the week and there's absolutely no person in line. On Sunday, I might spend an hour and a half in line. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to myself. So Sundays are a day that I dedicate to like putting my feet up and chilling and not doing anything I don't have to do. If I don't have to go outside, I don't do it. Okay. So Sarah said, if you take 3 suitcases, hypothetically, I guess, asking for a friend, Sarah says, if you take 3 suitcases to Mexico City, what items are a necessity to bring for a long-term stay? Okay. So Sarah, pretty much any name brand thing that's coming from a large company that you like in the US, you can find in Mexico. But price is generally going to be higher, and certain things you're not going to find. People talk about spices, but you can find all the spices you need here.
I mean, I had found, when I lived here before, I found Tony Chapter, but then this time I didn't find it, so I brought it back one time.
Have you gone everywhere? You can think of? No,
because I've been trying to stay out of grocery stores.
Right? I think you can find it. Yeah. The grocery store near me has 2 different import sections. Right? So, there's a lot you can find. But generally things are going to be a little bit more expensive. And it depends on what a necessity is for you. If grits are necessary, bring grits, right? You're not gonna find those.
Yes.
If
That's what I hear. Not that I eat them, but that's what I hear. Grape jelly, Greta reminds us, is not a thing here.
I never know this, I don't eat jelly.
No, I have known this, but I don't eat jelly anymore. Yeah, no grape jelly. If you are sensitive to fragrances, you're going to struggle because they put fragrance in the toilet paper, in the sanitary products, in any and everything that they can think of.
I have non-fragrant. Toilet paper was one of the hardest things for me here. Hard. Because I'm bouge. Call it what it was, what it is. I like a soft, pillowy toilet paper. I like, right?
That's going to be hard to find.
I like a double ply. I like no sense.
You're asking for a lot.
That was a challenge. Okay, so one day I was like, let me try this. I get a 4-pack of this, see if I like it. Get a 4-pack of that, see if I like it. I couldn't find anything I really liked. One day my mom came home with like the big Costco thing. And I was like, I hadn't decided on toilet paper yet. I was still trying to figure it out. The big Costco thing, double ply, unscented. It is not cushiony softness, but you know that like 84 roll thing or whatever it is, 30, it's more than 36. I don't know what it is. It's a lot of toilet paper. I have settled on that. It's not, like I said, it is not, I like that Charmin, like, I think I remember it's the red bear or the blue, the red or the blue, but like the one that's like pillowy, like cushiony, like clean. Even the Kleenex here is a little rough compared to the Kleenex in the US. Yeah. The paper products here are a little bit like, it's not sandpaper. But if you skimp on toilet paper here, it's going to be single ply.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be fragrant and it's going to be rough. So that goes back to a bigger issue. A lot of times people are like, things are so much cheaper here. Not if they're nice. Right.
No, I think that is a good qualifier. If it's nice, actually you're probably going to pay a little bit more for it. Other things, I'm trying to think of what is the stuff that I bring back in my bag.
If you like very specific, if you want a very specific hair product, right? Yeah. Especially if it's a Black owned hair product, bring it with you. You're going to find everything that is made by like Procter and Gamble and everything that's made by like those large companies, but maybe not everything, maybe not the Black stuff,
but like, you'll find something.
You can find products here that work for your hair. But if you're like, I cannot live without my curls, blueberry mousse, whatever, go ahead and bring that with you.
Old Bay. Y'all know I don't cook, but I see this come up a lot of people being like, where can I find that? And everybody's like, no, you can't.
Someone had it the other day in Merida. They found Old Bay.
Okay.
So in an Asian grocery store. Halisi says, I know what you mean. I do Charmin only and buy Costco for the rest of the house. My girl.
Shea Moisture you can get here. Shea Moisture and Cantu are fairly easy to find.
Yeah. And a variety of different Shea Moisture products in Cantu. Yeah. I was thinking of bringing my Brita water filter. Do you think if you filter the water is good enough? You filter, right, Adalia?
I do, but I don't know how much water you can get with that Brita water filter. I have an Eco Filtro, and I show it in my Day of the Life video. But basically, I take tap water and put it in there, and my filter lasts for 2 years. And I'm very pleased with that. Yeah. So I don't know about Brita. I chose that product because the filter it's really made for people who live in isolated areas where their water quality is not great. I've mentioned this before. In Mexico City, the water that the city provides is fine. It is potable. You can drink it. The problem or the question comes in, how does the water get to your tap? Is it the pipes? Is it the tank that is in your building? Because it's different here. It's not like in the US where the water line that comes to your house is directly connected to a water main. We don't have that. So I figure if this filter is good enough for people who live in rural villages without, processed water, it should be able to take care of whatever might be in the tap water if the tanks in this building have been compromised.
Someone asked about sriracha. I'm sure you can find sriracha.
Joan says you can.
No? Joan says yes. Okay.
And she says Old Bay is here. See, so tell you, I don't cook, so right. I don't know.
Teresa says if grits are must, blend corn in the blender or a robot coupe. I don't know what that is. That was.
Basically, in like a coffee grinder or a high-speed blender, you can make your own grits.
But before I saw that she wrote that, I was thinking that corn is life here. So there are grits here under another name. There is ground corn, right there, and there's what I don't know the difference between polenta and grits, but I'm sure we drank corn juice the other day. Ain't nothing being made out of corn that cannot be found.
You can probably, if you're in the right part of town, you can probably go and say, hey, can y'all grind corn to this consistency? And you can probably get you to hook up with somebody who will do it for you pounds at a time.
Or there is a local store where people are buying that same type of thing. We just don't know. I don't cook grits, so I don't know. I've never been on the quest for grits. Adalia don't cook nothing, so she's not on the quest for grits, right? But so I think grits, as you buy them off the shelf in the US with from the same manufacturers, are not available here. But I am sure if we drinking corn juice, grits are
and y'all are thinking she's exaggerating. No, that is what it was. It was corn juice.
We had corn juice in Oaxaca for breakfast. Corn juice. It was corny. It was
very corny.
It was corny. Greta asked, can you find everything but the bagel seasoning? I saw some yesterday in Costco. One of the big, the big seasoning spice bottles. It was one of the big ones. Yeah, I saw some yesterday. Hair braiders.
Yeah, they're hair braiders.
Awkward pause. Yeah.
I mean, because Mexico City has a sizable African diaspora here. And like the first time I got my hair braided, it was a young lady from Cameroon. She did a great job. The problem was trying to book her to do it again.
The first time I tried to get my hair braided in the city, it was a woman who was coming in from out of town and was like, yes, I can braid your hair. It will cost this much, but you also have to pay for my hotel in town because it will only take me 4 hours to braid your hair, but I might get stuck in town. Hair braiding here has not been as simple as like, boom, I saw your work on the gram.
Let me book you.
When are you available? Boom, boom, boom. Let me go to Style Seat, clickety clack, boom, boom, and go. It's often, okay, so the only way to book you is to track you down on WhatsApp and you're not responding to messages. And then you're aggressively stalking me 3 weeks later, right? And I got to pay for a hotel room for you, even though you're telling me you're telling me basically you can braid like 3 heads of hair today every time you're in town, but I have to pay for your hotel room. Lots of like hair braiding in the city is a lot of like, this doesn't quite make sense. Or like, this isn't how I would do business.
So yes, you can get your hair braided here. There are varying price points. You can get your hair braided by Mexican braiders too.
Yes, I know Black women who go to Mexican braiders here. And their
That's
braids
a choice you can make.
Their braids look lovely. Let's see. Can you order anything on Amazon? You can order everything on Amazon. Pero,
Amazon US and Amazon Mexico.
Okay, so Amazon Prime US does not work in Mexico. If you want Amazon Prime, you have to pay for Mexican Prime to get that 1-day delivery in Mexico. And that means that sometimes you order something and Amazon Mexico is like, yeah, girl, we got you in like 45 days. Legit, like I've had a candle coming to me for at least 4 weeks.
And I've had stuff show up in 1 day that was supposed to take 5. So, but that's Mexico.
You can order from Amazon US and have it shipped to a Mexican, some stuff shipped to a Mexican address. You can order from Amazon Mexico and get stuff shipped to the Mexican address. But Amazon Mexico is more limited. It has less variety and of products than Amazon US. It's frequently more expensive. Noticeably, frequently you're like, I don't pay that in the US. Like even with the like, so there's a lot of like
you always have 2 windows open, one for the US site, one for the Mexican site before you purchase.
Yes. And a lot of times it's me like, okay, who is coming from the US that I can get stuff shipped to their house, that it will get there on time, even though I cancel on my Amazon Prime, so I don't use it down here. So who can I ship stuff to who will bring it down for me and has room? And if not, can I wait until the next time I'm in the US to pick this up? Or is it more urgent? And if it's urgent, am I willing to pay the increased price on Amazon Mexico? It's shopping Amazon is more work here than you might imagine.
But there are times when even with the import fees, I can order something from Amazon US and it will be cheaper than it is on Amazon Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, you can buy that.
Someone asked, have we been to Ikea yet? Yes, actually, Adalia is going this week. She doesn't know it yet.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because in my head, I sent you a text. I responded to one of your texts with a text of, let's just go to Ikea this week. And now you know what I'm talking about. Okay. But I was doing something else. Yes. I don't think I actually sent it. So yes, we are going to Ikea.
But here's the thing. Don't come here thinking you will shop at Ikea the way you do in the US, because it is a different experience. One, prices are higher, and on some things, ridiculously higher.
Right. 200% more. It's the same plasterboard. It's the same taped together fake wood.
It's going to cost you more if you buy it here. Like, doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
They also, I assume this is part of the greater logistical problems we are facing right now at this point in history. But having something in stock, like I can order this online versus them physically having it in stock, that is hit or miss. And you know how you normally go to Ikea and there are just certain products they always have. That rule does not apply here. I couldn't get a cutting board in Ikea. I couldn't get a wine glass.
Adalia was mad.
Because like,
why?
They're supposed to have wine glasses. And Ikea was like, nope.
No, I tried to get mugs. They had mugs on display. They had 2 sizes of mugs on display. And yet every single mug was the smaller size. But you have 2 on the rack of the products. When I dig through to find what's for sale, a lot of times the things will be out of stock for like months.
So it's here. And I don't know, you ordered some stuff online recently, and that was a fairly okay process, because when they first got here, ordering online was a hot mess.
It was a fairly okay process.
Okay.
I got this from Ikea. I got that from Ikea. No. Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I got those in person at Ikea.
Yes. You didn't get them through mail.
I ordered this from Ikea. Yeah. So we've been to Ikea, but like furniture shopping here is a lot of living abroad. just going to be very general right now. A lot of living abroad is tempering your expectations and understanding that what you're used to might not be your experience, right? And like letting go of the idea that like I can find a couch that's as comfortable as my couch at home.
Comfort is relative.
But like I feel like it's relative to my own butt, right? Like I want something that I can, in a pandemic, when I'm buying a couch, I want a couch that I can be on for days at a time and not feel like I'm laying on like particle board. And a lot of couches in Mexico will have you feel like particle board, a thin piece of batting, and a piece of fabric. That's what you get. Like that's what they feel like. And so furniture shopping takes some effort and some money if you want something that is an upgrade above.
It goes back to what you said before. If it's
nice,
nice,
it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
I found I think you told me about the furniture store. What's that say? I don't remember how I found it about, but I went there. I went to a furniture store, and I fell in love with the couch. It was gonna be custom made. It was plush. I could pick the fabric, and they were like, "Yes, you can have it in 2 months."
Okay, that one I was not ready for, especially because I came back from China, where you could get any and everything almost instantly. The idea, like if you're furniture shopping and this idea that I'm going to go in and I'll pick from the floor model and they have it in the warehouse out back. No, everything we're looking at 6 weeks to get it made, buy it in the store. This is why I was so excited for Ikea. And then Ikea got here with their shenanigans and they were like, oh yeah, we know that's what it says on the website, but we don't really have that.
And so, yeah. Furniture. So to understand Mexico City, it's know that when someone says we'll deliver it in 2 months, they really mean like whenever we want to, right? Like 2 months could be 2 weeks. Unlikely. More likely, it's going to be like 3.5, creeping into 4 before you ever sit on that couch. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
And for me, it's not a dig on Mexico. It's really about how we were living in the US, that we were living such a way that things could be produced in large numbers and stored. And that was a feasible model. That's just not the model that they're using here.
No. But I also like, especially during the pandemic, I don't think you have so many orders that it's going to take you 2 months to build the couch, unless you're building like one couch every 3 weeks. So yeah, I was skeptical. I think that might be more of like, we don't even have the supplies that it takes. Like we have to order.
And that's a possibility too.
Fabric. We have to order this. We have to order that. And so if anybody in the chain is delayed, everything's delayed. That's why I was like, no. Let me go to another store and see what they have in stock. I ended up getting my couch and my bed from Liverpool, which is a department store, which feels like going to Macy's to buy a couch, which ideally wouldn't be what I did, but it's what I did. It's what I did. All right, Ivana, go ahead.
If I can't find something, I will look at Liverpool. Like I wanted house shoes and I could not find any that I could get in a reasonable amount of time. And I got some from Liverpool.
I'm messaging you right now, Ivana. To join our IQ doing this. Glassware, paintware, blah, blah, blah. Ship it to me.
I think at some point somebody had a question about pets I saw somewhere.
Oh yeah, I starred that one. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. What about pet care? Is the vet pricey?
I find that pet care is easy to come by in this city. I don't know about other cities, y'all, but if I walk out of my apartment and I walk either to the right or the left, within 1 block each way, there is a vet. If I walk down the next street, maybe I have to walk 2 blocks over, there is another vet. So unlike my experience in the US, where like going to the vet, you have to like find a shopping center or whatever, like within the neighborhood, there are multiple veterinarian hospitals, groomers, that kind of stuff. Price wise, things tend to be less than in the US, but in relationship to what the average Mexican earns, I don't know. Like, would they find it expensive? But, I guess that was about 2 years ago almost. Mia got sick where she needed to go to an emergency vet. And my Spanish, this is when I discovered I don't have emergency Spanish. And I was like, who can I find that speaks English? There is a Banfield Animal Hospital connected to the university. And I went through their little, like press one, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I need somebody to speak English. They found me somebody. I went there. I spent for an emergency pet visit where they ran every test you can imagine. I spent a few $100, like $300 or $400. It was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. So price wise compared to the US, very affordable. But if I was making pesos, I don't know how that would fit. But like, I can take her, like, I'm trying to think, when we went to get her rabies shot, maybe it was $8. Like, and I didn't need an appointment. Well, I did make one, and my vet does not speak English. So we just make it work.
If I leave my building, my building's basically on a corner. Across the street from that corner is a vet.
Yeah.
There are a ton more vets. I don't know. I'm not looking. I don't have pets. I'm not looking at vets, but I know that one because I pass it all the time.
And there are vets who will make house calls. But this particular time, it was like 2 a.m. and I didn't have any of those people's numbers. So I went through Facebook posts and was like, who said something about an English speaking vet?
That's another good point. House calls are much more available here than my experience in the US. Like, you can get doctors to come. Like, my pedicure lady, like, our only experience is her showing up at the house. Like, that's all we do is she comes to the house. I don't think she has a shop. She travels around and does nails in the house. There's a lot of I think the cheapest thing here, unfortunately, is the labor, right? And so if what you want requires human capital, it tends to be a little bit more accessible than things like, I don't know, TVs. Like, my TV was priced stupidly, like just stupid, but from Amazon.
Which is why my TV is teeny tiny.
It's also why my TV was stolen the first time. My TV wasn't stolen. My TV disappeared from the Amazon system. My TV was on a truck on its way to me, and then something happened. And Amazon was like, we don't know where your TV is, but it's not coming to you today. It was literally like, it'll be on your way. It'll be delivered. You get these. Amazon here is very good at alerting you about the deliveries. So if it's TV, it's going to be here before 5. It's going to be here before 5. It's going to be here before 5. And then it was, child, we don't even know. So things like that, you're kind of like, I don't care. Like, Amazon's not charging me. All right. They were like, come get this. Amazon was legit like, come get this refund. Right. So not a big deal. But things like that are expensive. And so things like that tend to happen. Right. Like, someone got paid so little that stealing one TV was worth it to them to lose the job. Who am I to complain? Right? If this was a package delivered by some, like a personal thing, I might be more upset. But like, that's the good thing about Amazon. They were like, okay,
well, we'll send you another one.
Come get this money. But yes, like that's part of like the trade-offs here. Labor is paid so poorly here that that person was willing to lose their job for the price of one TV, which, and it's not a giant grand TV, right? Like it's just a regular old thing. But the trade-off was worth it to them. So electronics expensive, labor cheap. Yep. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't liked this already, give it a like. We're doing all this work today. All right. I had a ladder disappear in Massachusetts the same way. Our bad. Ladder is missing. Ladder's missing. Yeah. No idea. No idea what happened. It was on a truck, and now it's not on a truck anymore. When the second TV that I bought came, my apartment building is kind of funny. Amazon never comes upstairs. Amazon leaves the stuff at the front, and at the front, they move it into a storeroom. And then from the storeroom, you come pick it up, or they'll deliver it at night. Amazon, when that TV came, and it was like in a large TV box, there's no kind of hiding that it's a TV in a TV box. They had that Amazon delivery person deliver it right to my door. Like, we are not taking this. It's not going to the storeroom. Same thing when my computer came. They never called somebody with packages. When my computer came, they called me. They were like, bring your ass downstairs and come get this computer, because we're not going to have it in the storeroom just sitting around. Because if things go, you know what I mean? Like, if you're willing to lose your job for a TV, you're probably willing to lose your job for a new Mac, right? Like,
probably.
And so things like that, like, even though I said one of the reasons I'm in this building is because I want security, even security is like, we are not taking the risk of this. Like, we are not losing our job if this goes missing. So come get this right now, is very much kind of how it happens when obviously expensive things get dropped off here. Come get it. Come get it. Anita, so I can get a cook and a driver. I'm good. Yes, but for a driver, you probably need to provide them with a vehicle, which is the not cheap part of that equation. Right? The vehicle is the not cheap part. The driver, inexpensive, generally, depending on what you're looking for. But the car. Yeah. Any scams you ladies may have encountered that you care to share?
I have not encountered scams from Mexicans. I have been scammed by an American. Remember the little boy who was homeless and had no friends?
Yeah.
But you know, that was on me. That was on me.
She knew she was being scammed.
I knew I was likely being scammed.
And she gave them the money.
I did know that.
Meanwhile, I was like, good luck, God bless.
But we see people talk about scams that are perpetrated on them. So like the mustard scam or the oil scam is, I guess, fairly popular, where somebody walks by and squirts you with something, or supposedly a bird pooed on you or whatever, and people show up really helpful to try and help you clean it off while they're trying to rob you. I hear that happening. I have not experienced that because, as I have discussed on my channel, I don't look inviting. I have a resting bitch face. I don't talk to people. I don't look like somebody you want to go up and talk to. So I don't tend to have people close enough to have that kind of interaction with me.
If you spill something on me, I'm gonna tell you to get away from me. Oh, someone did try to scam me. Someone tried to steal my purse by dropping an old, I've told the story on my channel before, but I'll tell you again. I was sitting in a restaurant and I was the only person in there. And a man came and sat on the bench next to me. So there's like benches, a long bench with separate tables. He came and sat at a table next to me on the bench. My purse is sitting on the bench next to me. Now he's between me and the purse. I don't want to like move my purse because I'm trying to be, not rude. I don't want to assume that he's here to rob me. But why are you sitting next? Now, sometimes people come and get close to you because they want to be social, right? There are some very social people in the city. They see you, you're a foreigner, they're going to want to talk to you.
They want to talk to you.
Doesn't happen all the time, but like Adalia said, we're not the most welcoming people. The space is here now, but most of the time I'm just like, my headphones in. Like, what are we talking about? Why are we talking? What's happening? Anyway, there was one employee, me, guy sits next to me, two people go inside. And he tells me, the waiter later on tells me that one of them is trying to block him so he can't see what's happening outside. The lady comes and she's like over at my shoulder. She like stumbles and her coin purse opens up and all the change falls everywhere. So now there's a man beside me. My purse is here. She's on this side. Her change is all over the ground and she's elderly, right? So I should get down and pick up her change.
And forget about your purse on the bench.
But I've been robbed in Vietnam like 3 weeks before. So you were not going to catch me slipping. And what's funny was that I felt my purse was like touching me. I felt my purse move as it touched me, reached out, moved it closer, zipped it up. I think I put it in my lap and I watched that lady and her change like, oh, that's a shame. I was there like, that's terrible. All your face is on the ground. Terrible. The three of them walked in together. The man who sat down wasn't helping her. The other man who was with her was blocking the waiter's view. And all her change is on the ground. And I was like, ooh, girl, you don't have to pick all that up. Like, I think if I hadn't just gotten robbed in Vietnam, I might have been less in tune or attuned to like, y'all trying to get me. But also, the place is empty and you've come to sit beside me had me like, nope, I'm alarmed. I'm alarmed that you think this is the right place to sit. And the waiter came out later and he was like, do you have all your stuff? He's like, I think they were trying to do something. I was like, I think so too. He was so cute though. He was like, they were trying to block my view. I think they were trying to do something. I think so too. I think that old lady was trying to rob me. And then the three of them left together. Like after she picked up all her change and I realized I was not going to get down on the ground and pick it up for her, they all left together. So yes, not a scam, but that was the time someone tried to. I'd been in the city for like 2 weeks, and I was like, "It's not." You can find. I saw them at another restaurant. I walked down the street in their direction. Saw them at another restaurant afterwards, and I wanted to be like, "Are you stealing from people here too?" But I kept it moving. Yes. It happens. It happens. My friend had her wallet. So someone spilled something on her bag. And while they were helping her clean it off, her change purse disappeared.
Yeah.
It happens. But yeah, if you are in a crisis that I have to walk away from my stuff to help you with, you are in a crisis by yourself, unfortunately. It was the way she stumbled was like stumble, purse spills open, change and no one else moved to help her. That was everything. No, you came in here with two men and not one of them is trying to help you. Well, then I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
What else like getting up, leaving my breakfast to come help you when these men you walked in here with are not helping you? Obviously, you don't need help. I was like, this is not. You got to try this with somebody else. Okay, so someone says, Elisa, do you go to concerts, theater, and comedy shows in Mexico City? Do they offer a device for translating? In your opinion, what's the best device for translating at a rapid speed? This city does not care whether you understand.
No.
I've never been to a single place in the city that cares about comprehension at all.
There are events that are in English. They are not numerous in comparison to the events in Spanish. Like I saw a thing the other night for open mic in English. Like you'll find stand-up comedy sometime in English. But no, if you're going to a play or a musical or concert, It's probably in Spanish.
There are no devices. I don't have a recommendation for a device because I just be like, if I don't understand it, I ain't going. Or I'm going and I'm enjoying the fact that I can't understand it.
Yeah.
No, legit, nobody here cares if you understand or not. No, they do not.
There's not enough English speakers to justify that extra work for anybody. No. No. Actually, because I need a haircut really badly. And I was on Google Maps last night, Googling barbershops in the area to see who was open today. And I was weighing between the time they open and how hot it would be for me to walk over there and show them a picture and be like, can you do this? But no.
Can you talk about your trials and tribulations a little bit?
Okay. So yes, if you're looking at my hair, but you're like, but you've had it dyed again since you initially had it dyed, you are correct. And I paid what I feel is a lot of money here to get it done. And it wasn't done as well as my initial dye job. So that person will not be dyeing it again. So
okay, wait. Uneven.
Yes.
Your skin was dyed.
Yes. My head was pink. So yeah.
And so someone else was coming, a woman was coming into town and offering haircuts. And how much did she tell you it would cost to cut your hair, Adalia?
$125 USD.
When all you need is some clippers. Clip. I could cut her hair. It would be an experiment.
And like, who knows? We might try that experiment. I said, Halisi, I know that's shocking. I said $125 US, which, hey, if that's her price, that is her price. But I am not her client at $125 to cut this little bitty hair. No.
And no. To be fair, she purported, and I say purported not because I don't believe her, but just because I don't know her.
I don't know her.
Purports to be a curly hair expert, and she was offering curly cuts. So yes, to cut my hair, $125 makes sense because there should be some precision. There should be a style you're going for. There should be something. I should walk out of there like, damn, these curls ain't curled like this in 25 years. Adalia is looking for somebody with clippers.
Some clippers who can do a fade.
Right? Like she's looking for
That's what I need.
So it was a different kind of experience. Like we're not looking for the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So $125 to cut her hair.
I can't do that, y'all. Not when this haircut just a haircut shouldn't cost me $10. Really, in this city, it shouldn't cost me $10.
Yes.
That's a different topic, but just a haircut
in this city?
And $10 would be going to a fairly nice place.
Once again, the minimum wage is what, Adalia?
It's about $8 a day.
So when one haircut from someone who's lived here for a long time costs how much, Adalia?
$125 US.
Not that person, the other one, the man.
I was going to somebody who charged 350 pesos, which is a lot.
A lot. If you consider the minimum wage here, if people get paid, that's 358 into 350 is how much? How many days?
Like 2 days salary for a haircut?
Yes.
It's 2 days salary for a haircut.
And I'm not saying that the hairdresser should be charging minimum wage. I'm saying that in comparison to what the average Mexican resident is paid, it's a very high price.
That's a very expensive haircut.
And now what does he charge for a haircut?
600 pesos.
This barber charges $30 for a haircut when the minimum wage here is $8 a day.
And again, his price is his
His
price.
price.
His price is his price. I just cannot pay that price because I have told y'all before, I will just shave my head. I got a pair of clippers in there. I don't know how to fade, and I can't cut the back of my hair well myself. But no, we won't be doing that. So yeah. So I there are a few barbers around that, we'll cross our fingers. I will show them a picture and hopefully they can come through. And it will be more convenient because it is in my neighborhood and more affordable.
Yes. So then we need to find someone to dye her hair because this pink color was doing the damn thing.
Yeah, it's gonna take. I didn't think about the upkeep when I made that decision. I didn't think about the upkeep.
Yeah. So I see people in the comments saying a barber posts a hairdresser, but yes, we're talking about barbers charging $30 for a haircut in a place where $8 is the minimum wage for a day's labor.
And remember that Mexicans work the most hours of anyone in the world. So, yeah.
Lisa, we talked about furniture earlier. I bought my couch at Liverpool, my couch and my bed at Liverpool, got some stuff off Amazon, and I have some other stuff from Ikea. But we got into that earlier. And I have a video on this channel about, I think it's like, Is Mexico Cheap? Is the name of it. And that covers a lot of this too. We don't know. No, that pricing, that the guy the barber we're talking about, some of you guys know who we're talking about. And it's not shade, like his price is his price.
That's his price.
Works with mostly Black Americans, I think. Right?
Yeah.
That's my impression. I've never been to a shop because I ain't done no business there.
So no, there's a specific clientele who wants his skills and will probably pay his new price. I'm just not one of those clients.
Yeah. All right. Can you talk about off-leash dogs? I'm bringing my 2 puppies that are still learning how to act properly on leash. Should I be worried about reactive street dogs? Okay. So let's
dogs.
Yeah. So let's back up a second. Off-leash dogs are one thing. Street dogs are something else. Those are not the same thing in Mexico City. Off-leash dogs here are 99% of the time well-loved, well-groomed, well-behaved. Like well-behaved, like mommy lets me off leash because I'm not even gonna talk to you. Like I'm not bothered, and I don't have a dog, so I don't walk dogs. Adalia can speak more generally to what walking a dog, because she got one of them on-leash dogs. Mia,
yes, my dog is not an off-leash dog. She's not Mexican.
These Mexican dogs will literally like sit off leash at a restaurant or outside a store, off leash, just sitting there waiting and not moving, not talking to anyone, not bothering anyone, just sitting there like, mommy gonna come out soon. Mommy gonna be here.
If a dog is off leash here, it is because they can handle that.
Yes. Yes. I have seen a street dog before. Once. I think one time I saw a dog and all that dog was trying to do was find where people had left snacks. The dog was like sniffing behind a vendor on the street, like, while y'all eating here, anybody dropping anything? Like, I'm not gonna be right next to you because I don't need to be next to you, but when you walk away, I'm gonna come see if you left anything behind, right? So it's very rare to see like wild street dogs.
Street dogs, like I get this image of like dogs roaming in packs.
Yes.
And
in other places, maybe not in Mexico City.
But here you will be hard pressed to find a stray dog.
Yes.
Hard pressed. I'm trying to think. Have you seen a stray cat even?
No.
So
I think I see 1 or 2 cats in the entire city. I don't see cats.
So in Mexico City, and I think that is very different from the rest of the country. So it's really, if you're gonna bring your animals here and you want them to be off leash, although legally they are supposed to be on a leash, but that's a whole nother thing. It's gonna behoove you to make sure that they are trained properly, because the other off leash dogs generally are.
Even on leash, I say this lovingly, your dog is probably not as well behaved as most of these Mexico City dogs. Like, and I don't know your dog. I don't know you, but I can say something about people in Mexico City. It's like there's a dog trainer that I see in my building every day with different dogs. It's like everybody hires him. He's training all the dogs. They're sitting and waiting and doing all the thing. Every single day, this man is here training dogs. There's the dogs here, I say it all the time, are the most well-behaved dogs I've seen anywhere in the world. So just like Mia isn't.
And I know that about her, which
Mia
is why she is always on a leash.
Her behavior is not up to the level of Mexico City dogs, which is why I say if you're bringing a dog from America, it is probably not at the Mexico City standard for like dog behavior. So don't worry about off-leash dogs. Worry about your dog. Like will your dogs be able to live with off-leash dogs walking past them without your dogs feeling aggressive about it? Don't worry about the off-leash dogs attacking your dogs, because if those dogs were going to attack other dogs, they wouldn't be off-leash. People are really, really good about that here. It's weird. I talk about it a lot, but if there's one thing they do right here, it's food and 2 things: food and dogs. Food and dogs. I tell you.
Because this is probably why there is almost a vet on every street, or a shop that sells pet stuff, or a groomer. Because people in this city, people take their dogs very, very seriously.
All right. Do you have names of furniture makers in Mexico? No, I don't. I don't have any custom made furniture. Let's see. Oh wait, I have a couple more starred that I wanted to talk about. Can a temporary resident get a Mexican bank account? That's from Greta.
Yes.
If you're on a tourist visa and you want a Mexican bank account,
maybe you're not supposed to be able to get one, but you might be able to.
Possible. A lot of people have a really hard. So certain places, like gyms, not all of them, certain gyms, certain landlords only want to be paid for a Mexican bank account. They're not hearing nothing else. You're not paying them for a Mexican bank account, you're not with it, right? Like you're not getting in. Goodbye, good luck. Find a different landlord, find a different gym. Because as on a tourist visa, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. On a resident visa, you're fine. You can get a bank account.
Yeah, you can get a bank account. I would say that when choosing a bank, you want somebody who has locations near where you live. Everything is tied to where you live. You don't want a bank that you have to travel to get to their ATM, because you're gonna be kicking yourself every time you need to go there. Also, and maybe this is just me, but I don't feel I should have to pay for a bank account. And typically in Mexico, that's not a thing. A nomina bank account is free. They're really designed for people who work to have their wages deposited. So they're free, and you're limited to like 4 withdrawals or 4 transactions a month. If you want a more traditional checking account, it is probably not going to be free. And that's pretty standard here. But you can live here and never have a bank account. You don't absolutely need one unless you are working for a Mexican employer who needs to pay you.
You can get a bank account. Lines. Okay, so part of it also is with my not being fluent. This isn't about Mexico. This is about me. With not being fluent, I don't want to have to find out where my money is in my half Spanish, right? If anything goes wrong with my money, I want to be like, so here's the motherfucking thing. And I need you to understand what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't want it to be like, girl, we see that you're feeling things that we don't understand, right?
But we don't understand. I got very lucky. I had opened a BBVA account because who I worked for when I did work here, that's who they were paying me from. And there was one fairly close to where I used to live. I moved into this apartment, not giving it any thought. And it turns out there is the closest bank to me is a BBVA about 10 minutes away. And at that particular branch location, they do have someone who speaks English. So when I lost my debit card, they were like, hold on, we know exactly who you need to talk to. And they went and found him, and they were like, talk to her in English, because we were not going to make it in my Spanish.
And some places will not have someone for you to speak to. Depending on the neighborhood you're in, depending on the bank you're in, some places will not have anyone to speak to you in English. And you're going to be like, I put in this much money, but it's not. Where is it? And that's a hard thing to do if you don't speak the language. And always remember, it's our responsibility to speak Spanish, right? So like the fact that there's no English speaker isn't a knock on them. It's
That's not on them.
It's a knock on my ability to speak Spanish fluent. I don't speak bank Spanish. I speak grocery store Spanish. I speak Pilates Spanish now. Thank you very much. I speak a lot of different types of Spanish, but I don't speak bank Spanish. I know that. So I don't bank in Spanish. The end, right? All right. Is it hard to learn the bus system there, or is there an app? Both. There are apps you can use to figure out where to go, but the bus system, like
which bus system?
Bus systems, like many things in Mexico, are really just go outside and see what happens. Like it's truly like, let's just show up and see what's popping. See. Once Adalia and I was trying to figure out how I was going to go home. I was at the Angel of Independence. I was trying to figure out how I was going to go home. Adalia opens the app and she's like, there's a bus stop right there. A bus is going to stop every
25 minutes or something.
25 minutes. A bus is going to stop there and take you home. We were there for over an hour. That bus never came in over an hour. And I think it was less than 25 minutes. I think it was like 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, a bus was supposed to come. The bus never came. Was the app wrong? Was the bus not running that day?
So, because did we check Move It? Because normally what I do, if I'm trying to navigate someplace I've never been, I will check both Google Maps and Move It, because sometimes Google's intel is not correct. Like there is a mass transit line that runs by where I live that is a straight line, but Google will tell you that it zigzags the whole way. That's not accurate. The line is there, but the route isn't. Yes. So sometimes when Google tells you, oh, this is where the stop is, Google is not right. So a lot of times I will compare it to Move It to see, well, what does Move It tell me? There are different types of buses here, and I have not mastered them yet. I would say if you're brand new, stick to the metro bus, and the trolley bus. Those will be
train, the bus train. I still don't understand the trolley bus because the trolley bus doesn't run near me.
It does run near you. It is literally behind you.
Is it the same one?
No, it's not the same one that you can pay with a card.
It's not. She lives by a really nice pay with your card, your Metro card. Get on, it's clean, it's nice.
They run like every 3-4 minutes.
A bus that looks like it was built in 1964.
Yes.
It does.
It moves like it moves.
It has not been repaired or painted or cleaned since then. So when she said I live by a trolley bus, I'm like, no, baby, I don't. Like you live by it. I live by an artifact.
So yeah, the buses. I think buses are good. The only way I have figured out how to learn the buses is not through an app. It is literally you find a bus stop and you see where it goes. You might ask the driver, do you go here? Or show them on the map the name of the place you're trying to go. And they might be able to say, yeah, we go that way. But buses take a little bit more skill.
Sometimes at a bus stop, I'll ask, is this bus going there? And most times people are like, yeah. So I was taking the Metro bus for the first time the other day. And Google was like, you need to take this bus to Buena Vista. Take the bus to Buena Vista. The bus to Buena Vista never came, but a whole bunch of buses to Indio Verdes kept coming. Indio Verdes, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Indio Verdes. That bus passes by Buena Vista. It doesn't stop at the Buena Vista stops. It's a different line, but it passes the direct area. So it's a different line that goes through, but it got me where I needed to go. I just had to do some things that I wasn't expecting to do. But Google never said take one of these two options. Google said take this one
bus.
And this one bus wasn't showing. So another woman was like, yeah, girl, get on the bus. She was just like, yeah. My bus Spanish helped me. I talked to her in Spanish and she was like, yeah, girls, it's the same thing. Just get on. No, she didn't say the same thing. She was like, it goes past there. It goes past. You'll be fine. Okay, I got where I needed to go. What Google said, I would have been waiting out there for hours because I think that bus wasn't running that day.
So buses, I think, require a little bit more flexibility and like resilience on your part. You got to be like, okay, we're going to get on this bus and see what it is. I have gotten on a bus that I wasn't sure where it was going, but I opened my map and see, is the blue dot moving toward the place I need to go? When it starts to veer, I get off that bus.
Yes. That's legit. A lot of times, yes. Sometimes I'm like, it's starting to veer, but I think it might pick back up where I need to go because the route Google is telling me and the route the bus is taking,
not the same.
Not the same. Am I going to end up at the right place? Possibly.
Maybe.
If not, I'll hop on another bus. You figure it out. Okay. Sarah has a question I think we should address.
What is that?
I have a 65-inch high-end TV. If I can fly with it, will customs charge me tax to bring it into the country if I have my temporary residency?
I don't think your residency status is going to matter. You come through there with a 65-inch TV that cannot be disguised as anything else. Oh, yeah.
Charge you for it or take it.
Yes. And how they determine what they charge.
What will they charge you for a 65-inch TV? Girl, whatever they want.
Now, if you have temporary residency, what is that thing called? Menta de casa or...
But I thought, do you need permanent residency with that?
No, you can do it with temporary residency, but you only have 6 months after you get your temporary residency. Once you get your green card, to have that move take place, there's a whole lot of rules. And like, if you love this TV that much that you have to bring it, that is the only guaranteed way to not have to pay tariffs on it.
Okay, friends, if you fly down with 2 packs of gum, you gonna pay customs.
She's joking somewhat. Somewhat. Just know it. I don't know if y'all have picked up on this yet, but with everything in Mexico, there are no absolutes. It depends. It depends on who you get that day. There have been people, like I've gone through, brought things in my suitcase and they never look. There are other people who get pulled aside and they go through everything you have and they say, okay, you have 2 laptops. What kind of laptop is that? They pull it up. Okay, you owe us this much tax on that. You owe us this much tax on that.
And you cannot leave the airport with that.
Either you pay or you leave your stuff. So it's hard, but I can tell you this. A 65-inch TV cannot be disguised. It is going to make you conspicuous, which is going to draw their attention. And once you have their attention, you're going to be hard pressed to leave without having to pay on that TV.
So,
That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, baby, you're gonna pay on that TV. You're gonna pay on it. So the premise, as I understand it, is they charge you a fee for things that you're bringing in to sell. How do they know you're bringing it in to sell it? Because they said so.
Yes.
There's literally no more than that. So what I do when I'm coming in is if I've bought things in the US, I take the tags off of everything. I do not come down here for anything in new packaging, anything with tags on. If I even had an old TV, I wouldn't bring a TV down,
because it's you arguing against them. There's no. I have seen posts where people were like, "I had the receipt," and the person was still like, "I don't care." And whether or not you get dinged on a tariff has really nothing to do with your residential status. But if you are a newly minted resident, you get a one-time exemption of bringing your household items without a tariff. But there are specifications you must meet in order to get that. Just saying, well, I'm bringing all my stuff in my suitcase and I'm flying down, that will not work.
There's paperwork and things, and no. Maybe you're gonna pay anything you bring, but they look at and they're like, "This looks like something she could sell," which is why you run the risk. One laptop, but 2 laptops, right? Because if you have 2 laptops, you don't have 2 heads, right? So you must be selling one.
Because there is a list. There is a list about how many things you are allowed to bring when you enter the country, and it does specify you are allowed 1 computer. I have not had an issue with hair products or bringing in spices or anything like that, but I've not had them go through my bags.
I've had them go through my bags. If you bring in multiple bottles of the same thing, it's going to look like you're selling things. And maybe they don't charge you for the hair product, but maybe they find a way to charge you for other things in your suitcase because you're here selling things. So, like I said, anything that looks new, I take the tag off of. I brought in 2 bottles of almond oil this time, and they were in a container. I just had them shipped from Amazon, so they're still wrapped in like that plastic bag. I hid them into, I opened up. Mexico Customs is gonna see this one day and come to the house like, girl,
you owe us some money.
I had a packing cube. So I put stuff on the bottom of the packing cube, put the oil in there, and put stuff on the top of the packing cube, and put the packing cube in the bag.
And don't think, oh, well, I'll ship it and that will bypass them. No, because they will open what gets shipped and they will then determine whether you owe a tariff. I ordered some, I guess, high-end workout clothing that they were having a clearance sale because that's the only reason I was willing to pay the price. They delivered to Mexico for a marginal fee. And the Mexican Postal Service opened it and they were like, oh, by the way, you're importing clothing of this value. This is what you owe us if you want to see this clothing.
Literally, you cannot get it until
you pay.
I had a package delivered. Stephanie sent me a package and it was boxes inside of boxes. They opened up multiple boxes in there. Like how and then there was just a number. And the delivery man was like, I came for it. And he was like, well, where's my money? And I was like, what money? He was like, girl, you're not getting this box until you pay this amount of money. And it's like written on the box. And I was like, what? He was like, bring me my money. And it wasn't like blackmail. It's legit. Like it's the customs fee.
Yeah.
You just pay it to the delivery person.
But just as often as that happens, there are times like I've ordered things previously where there have not been any customs fee. So you never know. You never know.
I want to address 1879 Jim. Why is femicide in Mexico on the rise? Because you commented about that on a video yesterday. And I would like to know why you think it's on a rise. Not why you think it's an issue, because femicide is an issue everywhere, but why you think it's on the rise and why you think this makes Mexico different than any country in the world. Like you commented yesterday about a protest against the government in Querétaro because about femicide. Have you not noticed all the protests in the US about forced birth? And forced birth to Black women in America is femicide. With the high mortality rate to Black women, Black mothers in America, being forced to give birth is forced death. So I don't know why you are so obsessed with femicide in Mexico, and why you said we need to be talking about that when we talk about our good lives, because we feel safer. Like we're not blind to it. We're not hiding it.
We've never said that it doesn't exist and it's not a thing, because we've actually mentioned that femicide is a big problem.
It is a big problem. As a Black woman, I feel safer in Mexico than I am in the US. And that's why I don't bring up femicide in every video, because I'm more likely to die in America than I am to die here. And so I don't know why you're so tuned into that and insisting that this is a problem. It is a problem.
We need to discuss.
We need to discuss it. I don't know why you're insisting that this is a problem. We need to discuss it. You commented on the video yesterday. It seems to be something on your mind. It is not on my mind because I'm not getting shot at the grocery store. It's not on my mind because no one here is going to force me to give birth, knowing I have a significantly higher risk of dying while giving birth. It's not on my mind because I feel freer and safer here. So while women are not safe anywhere on this planet, you can take your opinion and go. But there's no reason to force your opinion on us that femicide in Mexico needs to be spoken of differently than femicide anywhere else. It's just wild that you're coming here with the same conversation as yesterday. Women are not safe anywhere. I don't need to talk about it in every video because I feel significantly safer here.
And that's
for
that.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I did give them their money to get my workout clothes. And yes, you have to pay the customs fee in cold hard cash.
Cash. If you don't have cash, you don't get your stuff. Might come back tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what they do if you don't.
They did come back and drop off another notice. And the tone in the second notice was like, did you not get our first notice? Are you going to come pay for this stuff or not?
So they didn't deliver it to you. You had to go.
No, they tried to deliver it. I was out of town. Ivana was here. And so there was because she was like, so they left a notice of, you ordered from this company, this is what you owe, this is how you can pay it. And they gave me a time limit. And within that time limit, they then delivered another notice, like the day or two before I got back. And I took that with me to the post office, and I had my cash, and I had to sign paperwork. There was lots of documentation. And before I took the because they had opened the package and then taped it back up. And she was like, do you want to open this here? And I was like, yeah, we're going to open it here to make sure y'all put the stuff back in. And then I took my package home and I learned my lesson.
The only thing I've had delivered here that did not have some level of like drama is my Apple computer. My Apple was like, baby, we do this. Everything else is like the Amazon doesn't get my address right all the time. It's weird. Sometimes they deliver stuff easily. Sometimes it's like, no, that didn't work. And so there's a lot of like calling and figuring things out and blah, blah. My phone ringer is never on. So it's a while. It's a deal. Apple was like, no fee. There's no customs charge because they handle that. There was no nothing. It was just like, there's the box for you downstairs. Everything else has been like, what's this going to be? What's this going to look like? We don't know.
Now, I will tell y'all, I order from Mexican companies And I've had varying ranges of how quickly the product gets here and how well, that process went. So I do try, if I'm going to do some online shopping, I do try and hit up Mexican companies because they'll tell you like free delivery in the whole republic. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about tariffs then.
Non-Mexican companies that say they deliver here, make sure you find out
how that works.
Because another company I was shopping from, I told you guys before, they were like, yes, we deliver to Mexico. Yes, these are the fees. Boom, boom, boom. And then when I went to press the checkout button, they were like, okay, so here's the thing. There's going to be a customs fee. What's it going to be? Why would we know? It was very much like, why would we know what the customs fee is? We don't know. We don't know what the customs fee is. We know how much it's going to cost. But if you don't pay the customs fee, you're not getting these clothes. So we still doing this or what? And I was like, how is it you're telling me you deliver everywhere? But when I ask you about, like, you're literally like, for what you're ordering and the price, which is on the receipt. So you're telling me that the Mexican government is going to charge me something based on the numbers on these receipts.
But and you have no clue what that is.
No way of giving me even a range of what it could be. And I'm supposed to just roll with that? No. So, yes. If you use estafeta, you don't pay anything when you receive your goods in Mexico. I've
gotten some stuff from them.
Like I got a steamer the other day. I bought it on Amazon, but it came on estafeta, which I thought was interesting because it didn't come in a box. It just came with like a label wrapped around. A label wrapped around. It was in like shrink wrap. And I'm used to Amazon, but I was like, you know what, whatever. I have heard that people have ordered things on Amazon and they get like a brick in the mail or like a bottle of lotion instead of like a phone, right? Good luck. I don't know. Can we watch the NBA playoffs? Anything you can watch in the US, you can watch here. You can. I'm sure
maybe not at home.
Maybe not at home. I was gonna say, I'm sure there are bars playing the playoffs. Are we watching it? Sarah, this is not your first time here, baby. This is not your first time on our channel.
Because I was like, is that happening now?
You know, we are not watching the sports thing. It's not. Oh, look at this. Wow.
Oh, that's a man.
It's a man and it's so mannish.
Oh,
yes, please be done. This is a very, very fucking mannish comment. You want a degree of respect and equality. When a man is interested in giving that to you, do what's been done to you. If I have to earn your respect and equality by treating you like your dumbass question was special, I don't want it. I don't want it. You saw a protest in Querétaro, and so, oh no, femicide in Mexico. Without, sir, you want a degree. I deserve a respect. I deserve a degree of respect and equality. And if you can't give that without me catering to you or acting like I care about your question, go to hell directly. Stops. No stops. Thank you. Like, this isn't, what do you think this is? Like, this is so, y'all, this is so mannish.
Take the comment down. Because it is such a manly thing to do.
So, okay, you're done. Okay, bye. You brought up femicide yesterday. You brought it up today. We're telling you feel safe. And you're saying you ladies need to be talking about femicide. You do that on your channel. If anyone would watch it, but I'm guessing they don't, or you wouldn't be here wasting your time.
What's the next question?
Child. Woo! Okay. Yes. You want a degree. All right. It seems like you have a child. Greta, come on. It appears that you have Apple products is easier if you have issues. Is that true? I'm an Android and Samsung user. I'm wondering if we would need to change to Mexico. No. I think Android and Samsung would be easier here.
Yeah, because I want to say there are multiple like Samsung stores and whatnot.
Yeah. Apple when I first moved here, Apple only had one store in the entire country. And it was in Santa Fe, because that's where the money is.
That's where the money is. That's where the money resides.
But yeah.
We're still here. Rebloom Room.
We doing it, apparently. And I hope your house sitting interview went well. But we have been at it for a while. We should probably wrap it up. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Were there any more questions that you starred?
Maybe. Francine says she uses Mercado Libre. I think
I've used them.
Yeah.
I've used them. I've used them. I don't try and buy like US products on there because the markup is too much for me. But when I want some things and I've tried on the street and I haven't been happy with the price, I can usually do better on Mercado Libre and get it delivered to my door.
Yeah. You can get plants. She found a coffee table I liked the other day for me. Okay. The last two starred comments. And then if anything else pops up, we'll try to address that too. Shemel Thompson, how's walkability there, especially if you have a 5-year-old? Listen, Adalia can probably respond to this better than I can, because I don't know how 5-year-olds walk. Like, until they're fully formed and like able to like do everything for themselves, I don't know these people. I don't. But one of the great things about Mexico City is walkability. And one of the terrible things about Mexico City are our sidewalks. So everything in any neighborhood, you can walk to pretty much everything you need. Like any neighborhood you choose, all the neighborhoods are very, very walkable.
But
if you have mobility issues.
Look, y'all, I don't know that there is anything more. I don't know that this is the case in other parts of Mexico, but in Mexico City, people love plants and they love trees and they plant them right next to the building. Okay, with no thought to how big is this thing going to be? What is the root system going to do? Nobody thinks about that. And when the inevitable happens and the roots break through the sidewalk, never is the conversation. Never is the conversation, we need to cut that tree. That is never the conversation. It is, we will just pave on top of what's there. Mm-hmm. And of course, inevitably, it'll break through again. Or we pave around it, mm-hmm. but they never remove the tree. Mm-hmm. So what you are always going to get at some point somewhere are sidewalks that look like this, or the one we saw the other week where the manhole is down here, but the concrete covering around the manhole is up here. So a 5-year-old, I would put them in a stroller or I would wear them, because the sidewalks, depending where you are difficult enough for you to traverse, let alone a 5-year-old.
But also, as my friend Monet, the traveling child, says, if children live there, children can visit there. Yes. So there are 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds be walking. Yes, 3-year-olds walking around just fine on these sidewalks right now, and they are doing okay. If your child is not used to that, it might take an adjustment for them to know, but like they can't be playing.
You can't just like run down the sidewalk because it's not going to all be level.
And you need to be paying attention to what your child is doing, or they going to end up smacking a tree, because why would there be a tree? There's literally, in my neighborhood, there's a stretch of sidewalk that is like sidewalk. And then a tree in the middle of it, where it's not even like, they didn't even pave around it. It's just like a square. It's like a missing square with like a tree coming out. And then you jump over that and get to the next sidewalk square. And that's just how it is, right?
Yeah. And the tree always wins here.
The tree wins. Earthquakes happen and sidewalks do not get fixed. It is what it is. It's very walkable. You have to pay attention. You do not text on your phone when you walk here. These cars will hit you. They will try not to hit you. They will try their best not to hit you.
They'll try not to hit you, but they might.
But they will come at you like they're going to hit you, because you shouldn't be in the road when they want the road. So we don't text, like, it's rare, but I'm texting and walking unless I've given myself a very clear, like, I see what's ahead of me. Let me respond to this real quick and then go, but not into traffic. Not, of course. I mean, I say that, but sometimes we try to do something, whatever, looking on a map, whatever. You pay attention here when you're walking because it's treacherous.
But if you are trying to get somewhere, 5-year-olds are not the fastest walkers. I would just wear the kid, like strap them on me, and then.
At 5? Aren't they too big for that?
No, you can still do it at 5. Depends on their size, but you can still do it at 5 because even a stroller, because so many of the sidewalks are not smooth, you need like an off-road stroller. But otherwise, I would just wear the kid.
I feel like if listen, when your legs start moving, you can start walking. I don't know. That's me. That's why I don't have children. Okay. Next question was from Zakia. She's coming to our Cancun meetup. If you don't know about the Cancun meetup, Exodus Summit, facebook.com/group/Exodus Summit or Exodus Summit/community. We're doing a meetup in Cancun for Black women only. Any neighborhood recommendations for a quick stay? It depends on what you want to do. So if you want to see Centro Histórico, stay in Centro Histórico. If you...
Is she talking about here or in Mexico? Or in Cancun?
Here for a few days before Cancun. Sorry, I didn't get all the way through that story. Here for a few days before Cancun, what should she do? Okay. If you look at the very center, I'm going to say Roma Norte. If you look at Roma Norte, anything within like 7 kilometers is fine. What would you say, Adalia?
Yeah, not even 7 kilometers. It wouldn't even be that far.
Are you saying like 5?
It's probably closer to 3 or 4.
As like a neighborhood to stay in, is what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah, 5.
5? Okay. Anything within 5 kilometers, I would go as far as 7. Because you're probably what, 7? How far away are you from Roma Norte?
No.
Are you further? Are you 12?
From Roma Norte? Yeah,
are you
like 3 and some change.
Really? You're that?
Mm-hmm. I keep telling you.
She lies. She don't know what she does.
I keep telling you. We literally live 5 miles apart.
She don't know.
And I know you act like it's the other side of town, but it is 5 miles.
She's just saying stuff. Okay, so yeah, so I think if you use Roma Norte as like a hub, I think that's a good.
Yeah,
Roma Norte or Condesa, one of those.
Most of what you're going to want to see or do from Roma Norte, easily you can either walk, Metrobus, or Uber.
Yeah. So I'm not saying stay in Roma Norte. I'm saying stay in a neighborhood that's within like 5 to 7 kilometers of Roma Norte. That'll keep you out of the Santa Fe's. That'll keep you out of Coyoacans. But like, if you're going to be here for 3 days, I wouldn't recommend going that far south, right? If you're going to be here for 3 days, I wouldn't recommend staying by the airport. There's never a reason to stay by the airport.
Don't stay by the airport. I mean, are you coming to town to shop at Ikea? Because that would be the only reason to stay at the airport.
Unless you're only in town for one night and you don't want to see anything. Unless you're like, I'm leaving the airport, going to my hotel, and then going directly back to the airport, there is never a reason to stay at the airport. Don't do it. Reconsider. If your place you're looking for is near the airport, get away from it. It's not what you want.
Because you're going to spend so much time in transit between seeing activities and getting back to your housing. If you stay near the airport, you're going to not like that.
So there's a number. The reason I'm not giving you a specific neighborhood is it's kind of like, you can think of Mexico City as kind of having rings. Like if you're in that inner ring of like 5 kilometers from Condesa or Roma Norte, it's kind of like an inner circle, kind of. There's probably another inner one too, but whatever. The further you go out in the outer rings, the less enjoyable your experience is going to be if you're here for a short time. So anywhere in that inner ring, I can't think of any. I mean, besides, there are places there within the inner ring that you might not love, right? But if it's 3 days, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right. If you can live in America, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So no, the answer was I don't have any recommendations besides like staying close if you're only here for a few days. Because
I would say, what do you want to see? If there is something you have your heart set on seeing, you
Stay there.
may choose a place based off of your proximity to that. If you're coming and you're just kind of like, I'm going to wing it, any of those neighborhoods would work. But if there is something that you're like, I really, really want to see this, then I would, and you know that that's going to be on your itinerary, then that would play into my decision about where to stay.
Yes. If you want to do something like hop on, hop off bus, staying somewhere like Reforma is nice because there's a lot of places around there you can get on. But like, this is not a city where you can walk to everything. This is a city where you can walk to some things, right?
Yes.
And so you're going to have to sit in traffic to get to something you want to do. It's just, what is that one? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to be able to walk to? What are you going to be able to, what are you going to sit in traffic to get to?
Yeah.
Which is why, but people are really focused on neighborhoods. I don't know that it matters that much unless you're coming long term. I don't think it matters that much. Like, your experience.
You just wouldn't want to stay by the airport. You wouldn't want to stay in Santa Fe because of the amount of time it is going to take you to get to the things you do want to see.
And nothing you want to see is in those places. Like, no one goes to Santa Fe because they want to go. I have been to Santa Fe to go to the mall, right? But I would not stay in Santa Fe to go to that mall. There's a Saks Fifth Avenue, but like, who's coming to Mexico to go to a Saks, right? Like, other than that, it's just a regular mall like the rest of the malls in the city. Let's see. Yes, Reforma and Roma Norte are good. They're both going to be expensive right now. The city's just significantly more expensive than
it has been.
Yeah. Nicole says, if you send a care package, is there a tariff?
Yes. If the things in the care package are not contraband. Y'all, folks say, I left my medication and my aunt is going to mail it to me. They are going to confiscate it. And then they're going to send you a note that says, hey, somebody sent you some contraband. Yes. This is why I don't typically have people send me things that I did not buy, because it may be something that you already owned. I mean, unless maybe you could send somebody cookies and that would be okay. Maybe, I don't know. But if it's like,
because the cookies gonna come like 3 weeks later.
That's true. Because unless you send those cookies DHL, you have no idea when they're going to arrive.
Will not be there in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And so DHL, like, it's gonna be like, yes, you said overnight, but like, which night? Over which night? Right? Like,
so yeah. So things that that are not brand new, and you're like, well, obviously they can look at this and tell this isn't new stuff. No, they're not doing that level of analysis. If they open the package, they're not doing that level of analysis.
If they open the package, you're going to get charged a fee.
Or they're going to
take it. And most packages here get opened. My computer did not get opened, but I think that's because they have an arrangement. Like Apple went out of their way to have an arrangement.
And Amazon calculates if there is a tariff involved. Amazon tells you, this is what we think it is. And if it's less than that, we will refund you. This is why if you have medications, bring them with you, because you are entitled to bring them with you. But do not try and like mail vitamins. No, that is a big no-no.
Amazon. I tried to buy something the other day that was $10, and Amazon was like, yes, and the tariff is $15. Come through. It's like, what?
Hey, but I appreciate that they tell me this up front. I do appreciate that. And there are quite a few things that I have looked at, like my my wireless keyboard, because I didn't want to buy one here because I didn't want a Spanish keyboard. So I bought it off of Amazon US, and there was no delivery charge, but there was a tariff.
I've had that happen.
And I was like, okay, I can live with that.
Okay, let's see what else is coming up in the questions. How much cash should I carry for public bathroom attendants, grocery store baggers, other services? We should talk about money. Money is interesting here.
Well, first of all, change. You want
Okay.
coins.
Let's
Coins.
back it up. What you need money for. So, like we said, when that delivery man came, if I didn't have the cash he needed, I don't know what I would have done. Most of the people I pay, if I'm buying a product from a person, 50% of the time I can, what I'm buying, I can buy with a credit card. Like going to craft markets, etc., restaurants, credit card, fine. Debit card, whatever. If I'm out in the streets, it's cash, cash, cash. Cash is king. Like at markets in the street, like the mercados, the tianguis, it's cash.
It's cash.
Cash. How much cash do you need? What is your life going to look like while you're here? You don't want to have too much because
you could get mugged. You could get shaked down. I don't know what the past tense of that is, by someone. But for the people that you mentioned, like bathrooms, baggers, all of those are people you want to tip with coins.
Yes. Half of the time when I want to take the bus, I don't have the right change for the bus because coins. Now, she told her she was on the fancy line where her bus, she can take multiple buses but
with
use
a card.
I don't live in the fancy part of town she lives in.
Oh, so, whatever.
I need change. And half the time, like, am I paying 200 pesos for an Uber because I don't have 6 pesos for a bus? Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's, I would say, as far as walking around with money in your pocket, I know that's the opposite of how we move in the US. It's like, oh, I don't want that change. You want the change here because a 500 peso bill is really hard to break. It is worth about $25 USD, but people are going to look at you like you are trying to pay them with a $100 bill.
At the grocery store, when they have those trays, they still looking at you
like, I don't want to break that. So, but there are times when I leave the house and I might have no more than 200 pesos on me, which is like $10.
Nicole, we are talking about Mexican pesos, coins, Mexican coins.
Coins.
So the denominations, there's $1,000 bill now, is that right?
Yes, that's what I got when I went to the ATM to get my rent money. It kicked out some $1,000 peso bills, and when I handed him the money, I was like, "Hey, sorry, but this is what the ATM gave me." So
there's a 1,000 peso bill, a 500 peso bill, 200, 150,
and 20.
And 20. And then we go down to change. There's a 20 coin. So there's a 20 bill and a 20 coin, 10, 5, 2, and 1 in the coin.
There are half, but they're not widely circulated, but you may get one.
Very few things cost a half, right? Like my bus is $6, 6 pesos, 6.5 pesos. But I always pay with 7 because
and that's most people.
Right.
And sometimes I used to pay with 6 and be like, it's just one of them days, homie. Like this what I got. But yes, no, you really do want coins. If you're gonna have paper money, try and keep it under 100. The denomination. Those will spend much more easily than when you get up to 200 and 500 pesos.
How much money? So the hard part of answering the question is how much money do you need? I don't know how much money I run through in an average week, but typically I pay my cleaning lady, the lady does my pedicure, and the rest of me is pretty much cashless. The rest of me can do probably like 100 pesos a week outside of that because I'm taking the bus a couple times. I might get some tacos or something on the street. I go mostly where I use my cards, right? I'm not doing that much. I'm not buying many things in the market. When I went to that craft market the other day and the man said it was 15,000 pesos for what I wanted, I was like, Well, first of all,
Who walking around with 15,000 pesos in their pockets?
that's how I
Nobody.
know you will lie. You will lie. Ain't nobody walking around 15,000 pesos. So it's a cash heavy society that will also gladly accept your cards. Right?
But basically, unless I'm going to the mercado, or I'm going to shop at very small vendors where you will need cash. Typically, I don't carry a lot of cash. And this is where the Mexican bank account could come in handy, because that small vendor will probably take a bank transfer, because you can just go on your app and, transfer the 50 pesos to them or whatever.
Yeah. I can't. I don't do that.
Okay. Let's talk about, I see Greta's question about the Metro card. It is not monthly. Previously, Metro buses were cashless and they were unique in the city. And to get on a Metro bus, and this is above ground, it works like the Metro, but it's above ground bus and it has its own lane. You had to get a card that you could then like put money on it. And there were little machines there for you to do that. That card was also accepted in the Metro, but there was also a ticket window at the Metro where with cash, you could buy a ticket. No form of transportation here has ever taken credit cards, which is unlike, like, you go to London, you go to Paris, you go places like that, you can pay. You can't do that here.
I don't even think you can use it in the machines, right?
No, you cannot pay for transportation with a credit card.
Or a debit card. Any kind
of card. So they have expanded, and now they are trying to take what used to just be a card that worked on the Metro bus exclusively and on the Metro. Now they're trying to expand it to other things. Like now the rental bikes takes that card. It's not monthly. You just top it up as you need it, and you cannot put more than 120 pesos, which is like $6. So when you think about it, that's a lot of money, because
I put 100 pesos on, I think a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, when I still have 50 pesos left.
Yeah, because rides run from about 4 pesos on the trolley bus, 5 pesos on the Metro, 6 pesos on the Metro bus. I don't know which of the regular buses take the card, because regular buses can be like 7 pesos. So it just depends on how much traveling you're doing, how quickly you will run through your 120 pesos. But the way I understand it, that limit is in place so that if you lose your card, you don't lose too much money.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, they're trying to replace the ticket windows in the Metro, and that's meeting some resistance. Like there's some Metro stations you go to and you're like, oh, I'll up my card using this machine. And people have destroyed the machines because they're like, no, we ain't about this. Keep the ticket window.
It's an interesting place.
It is. Because it costs you, if it's a station that has machines and a ticket window, it costs you a peso to have the ticket window up your card.
Oh.
They don't tell you that. I just noticed. I was like, hey, I gave her 100 pesos, but she only put 99 on the card. And then when I used the machine, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Why. So we're trying to get people to use the machines, but
yes, they are. But
labor is central to Mexico, right? And so when people see people trying to get rid of jobs, they break the machines.
Yes. No, that's very much the vibe that I got. They were like, y'all are trying to take these people's jobs and we don't like it.
We don't do that here.
The city has framed it with like, oh, there's going to be this freedom of movement. It's going to be so convenient, blah, blah, blah. So like when I ride the trolley bus, I can either pay in cash or I can scan my card. I can tap my card.
Okay. Halisi, minimum wage is $8 a day, not 8 pesos. 8 pesos, people wouldn't get out of bed. People would not get out of bed.
No, there'd be more protests than there already are.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've done it for the day.
I
This
think
was
so.
not. I was like, we'll be here for like an hour.
No, we're running on 3. So yeah, I think we have done it.
Woo! Okay, so linked. Adalia is like my Mexico City expert, but she, you don't do any like Mexico City one-on-ones, do you?
I do. I do. People who are specifically thinking about moving to Mexico City can book time with me to discuss their move, like neighborhoods, how this city works, the ins and outs, those kinds of things. So yeah, I
And they
do that.
also work with you for money stuff, right?
Yes. Yes. So I
Tell us
do.
about that.
I next month, in the month of June, the Get Started Investing Challenge will be back. It's a 6-day investing challenge to get you over that hump, because a lot of us know we should be doing something, but we're not doing anything. And they need a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a handhold to get over that. We're going to be doing that again in June. So if you want to get on the wait list for that, the wait list is open. You can sign up for it. If you want more money help, not just investing, just really building a sound financial, what do you call it, foundation, the Financial Confidence Academy might be a good choice for you. Sort of like, it's sort of like group coaching, group financial coaching, sort of. I don't know. I'm not very good at describing it, but we learn about different financial topics every month. We have Q&A sessions. And so there's that as well. And then I do Ask Adalia sessions where, if you want to teach abroad, because I used to do that, so I can tell you the real deal about what that's like. You want to move to Mexico, you're trying to just figure out your next move as being a long-term traveler or moving abroad. I help with that.
Okay, so the question in the comments is best way to reach Adalia for booking. Can you drop a link into the actual stream for that?
I will do that.
And while you're doing that, because I know you can think and type at the same time, can you speak more about what the group accomplishes in the 6-day challenge?
In the 6-day challenge, we suss out the different kinds of accounts, how you open an account, how do you make a trade, how do you choose an investment, how do you start developing like your investment strategy. But it is for people who want to take action but haven't been able to do it on their own. It is 6 days, so I don't want to say it's fast paced, but I don't know what is a better way to say it than that.
You've got to
want to pull the trigger.
Yes, and you can't come in and say, "Oh, I'll just do it later," right?
Yeah, no, it's not do it later. It's you need somebody to help you get there and pull the trigger and make a move.
It's not learning. It's learning and implementing, not just learning.
Yes, and it's big on the implementation.
All right. So
there's the link.
Link to reach you for a one-on-one booking session, right?
Yes.
The link to reach me for one-on-one booking session is also in the description. I'm going to copy this and drop that in the description. Nope. My only choice was to block you, so I'm not going to do that now. But link to book time with me is in the description. Link to the book time with Adalia is here, and I'm going to drop it in the description as soon as this is over. I think that's it.
I think we did it.
I think we did it. 3 hours about Mexico City. Yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you haven't subscribed already and you're not a troll, go ahead and subscribe. If you're a toxic man, I promise you there are better places on the internet for you. There are. This isn't it. It's not it. But thanks for everybody else. All the ladies. Single and otherwise. Single and I was like, single and otherwise. Come through. You're all welcome here. And I will talk to you guys about something next week. If you have an idea for a video for next week, what?
No, I was going to say, if you're curious about buying property, like land, not apartments necessarily or houses, but you're like, I want to buy land in Mexico, you might want to join me Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel.
Do y'all see how she stopped my conclusion for a whole commercial for her video?
I'm just
Just
saying.
I didn't even know the topic. I didn't know anything about this. She stopped me for an unauthorized commercial for her video on Wednesday. But whatever. Oh wait, that's not what I meant to do. Subscribe to her channel or whatever. Watch her video. Actually, is it with Teresa? Okay, so it's gonna be really good. I can already tell you Wednesday is gonna be really, really good because the woman there, we have a love-hate relationship, and I'm showing up just to troll her and to watch Adalia's video. But come through Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's what you said?
7 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday.
At Picky Girl Travels the World on YouTube.
And I just thought about that is May 25th, depending on when somebody sees this video.
Something else is going on May 25th. What is it?
June 25th, something is going on.
Okay. All right. Dean says, I heard you can only buy some things online with Mexican credit cards or debit cards.
That is true.
But in our experience, what else besides IKEA was like that?
Like buying tickets. The first time I went to the Frida Kahlo Museum, I couldn't use a foreign credit card. I think I had to use a foreign debit card. But
let's back up a second. There are places that, this is the last, and then we're getting out of here. There are places that only accept Mexican credit and debit cards. And IKEA was one of those places. They have opened that up now, so they accept everywhere. There are many places on the Mexican internet that say they accept every Visa and every MasterCard.
And they do not.
You're going to run through your whole wallet. You're going to run through your whole wallet before you find one it'll take. The other day my friend was here, and to see Frida Kahlo, I had to buy her a ticket. I had to buy her ticket and send it to her because she ran through her wallet and didn't have a card that worked. I ran through like 3 of mine before I found one it would take. So it's not that they're like, we will not take foreign cards. It's that the systems are glitchy. And I think getting approval, there's something weird happening.
PayPal has been a good workaround for that. Not always 100%, but it's been pretty good.
Yes, but that's a really good point. It's not that they're saying we only accept Mexican. It's that whatever bank is processing, I don't think they're getting I don't think the systems are talking to each other in a timely fashion to make the transactions go through. Because I have almost every time I've done it, I've had a foreign card work. It's just not the first one, right? Maybe not the second. I got to keep trying different cards to get it to work. And my bank isn't like, hey girl, we turned this down. My bank is like, what are you talking about? That never happened. So I think it's a communication issue. But okay, this is the very last question, and then we're getting out of here. What exactly are you pulling the trigger on in the 6-day challenge?
On making an investment, like buying something in the stock market.
Okay.
That's the trigger we're pulling.
Thank you. If you have more questions, you can hit up Adalia at Adalia, or some version of that.
PickyGirlTravelsTheWorld.com or AdaliaBorashade.com.
Fancy. I told you Adalia at Adalia. That's where you find her. And we will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Y'all.